be ready to, if you're going to be the Comedy Comics, you need to be able to do a weekly update of all the shows to be like put out there of all these people of what they're doing. You maybe make that an offer that you put on the table for them. Be like, look, I'm going to be announcing if you have any shows that you'll be performing at,
Yeah.
or if you got anything coming up, I'll be playing whatever you want me to play of your content to get these people to go to click on your link. You have that, and I'm just a hub that they find that. And they drive that, you're the guy, you're like basically the Robin Hood in a way. You know what Robin Hood, how they don't own any shares of the stocks of the
I
companies.
thought we were talking about real Robin Hood, to be honest.
No,
Okay.
Robin Hood of the stock market. They don't own the shares that these people are buying and selling on the trade.
Yeah.
They are driving traffic to larger brokers that own actually the stocks. They just drive traffic.
With the fucking kickback finder fee.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all you're doing is you're taking people and you're making it a central hub to where people can find all the different comedy from around here and driving these people to their links.
Yeah.
To click on their shit to get them to their pages and to their content.
I mean, it's definitely something that...
I'm just trying to think of how you explain it, what you do. Like, isn't that what it's about? You're putting basically...
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Connecting people with the comedians
I know,
in one place.
I want to do that. I wanted to, I really want to... Because I think it's because I'm getting bored with, like, sketch. I'm not bored with sketch, but it's like... Every time you think of a comedy YouTube channel, it's either somebody doing stand-up, a podcast, or fucking a sketch. And it's like... all things comedy, they do those wild things where it's like comics sitting around playing poker. Like, sure, I don't want to do that, but it's like, it's something different that adds a fucking cool little twist. Like, I thought it'd be fun to do, like, have you ever watched, like, the fucking British panel shows?
Yes.
Dude, those are fucking cool as shit.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like,
And there's a good
so many good
one-liner
ideas.
on there that's, what's his name? He's hilarious. He does the joke, like, he comes out, he's like, anybody out here own cats? Your house stinks.
Is he kind of older?
Yeah, he's got the crazy blonde hair. He wears the crazy, like, tropical-looking shirts. He's definitely a unique character.
His name Freddie something?
Maybe. He was on the industry. What is that? I forget. There used to be this comedy, the comedy industry or something like that YouTube channel and podcast. To where it was all of them. It was basically like Hot Breath. Have you ever seen Hot Breath?
Uh-huh.
It was basically Hot Breath, and this was before Hot Breath, and it was over there. And that's what they did. But they talked to much more festival, comedy festival owners, comedy show producers. They had a lot of them on there.
It sounds vaguely familiar. So I might have listened to it. There's the British one. I don't know if it's British. I don't know where they're from. But it's the Comedian's Comic or the Comedian's Comedian, I think. And
I was just seeing something on that on Facebook. The Comedian's Comedian.
And I mean, for the most part, he talks to British comics I've never heard of, but he has like one with James A. Caster, which is really cool because he like goes into his joke writing process, which is brilliant. And then he has one with Bill Burr, where Bill Burr is just Bill Burr. He's like, you're British, I don't understand you, so I'm going to be standoffish and Bill Burr. It's still funny, but yeah. And they talking to, that's a little loud in my ear. I'm not gonna lie.
Your knob's right there, buddy. It's the first
sure
one. It's
is.
the closest one to you,
Should have
big
just
dog.
guessed. What am I going the right way? Look at me go. Oh, hey,
Okay,
there we
how's
go.
that?
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
good
yo.
right there. All right, we're live.
Can you feel it? Am I in?
It's
Are you in?
like a hot dog in a hallway.
I was gaping earlier.
That
Well,
word,
Mike Ratcliff, everybody.
Yeah.
Mike Ratcliff.
you can find me at
Back in the
gapingholes.com. Gaping is that word fits that what that is. Like, it's a gross word and it's a gross scenario. Like, edit and like they have to fucking do a little video editing because every time it's like that is a deep black hole. Like, where does that end? Like, where does that fucking go?
What about the ones that are like prolapsed and like are like, what is up with that? How do they?
I'm on Pornhub. This is not where that comes out. Like, put that shit on 4chan or where the fuck weird people go these days.
It's like an exploded eggplant of some sort.
I pitched that to that actress and it's like, hear me out, okay? It's gonna be boy girl. Simple. He's delivering pizza, and then your guts are gonna shoot out of your butthole. It's like, you know what? I'll do it.
Is that a career ender for? Is that like that's your retiring video? You don't do
Has to
that.
be.
You don't do 2 of those scenes, do you?
I mean, you can't. It's not like it's like a fucking
Like they
defensive
say the
lineman
sphincter-
breaking his leg. It's just game over.
It's like
you're
the
coming back.
sphincter. Yes, is a muscle, and it does. Even if you like whatever tear it, it does heal and supposedly snap back. I guess as anatomy would tell you, it's something that will contract back as a muscle. But
You prolapse that bad boy.
I
Game over.
mean, yeah, I mean,
I guess they can put it back in, and then it's like, hey, stay away from door number 2.
don't answer it for that next
Yeah,
belief.
yeah.
Don't get pizza delivery.
Yeah. Don't call them. Don't call them.
Speaking of which, don't you have a project coming up in the porn industry?
Oh yeah.
You know, Quentin's probably gonna be quite angry because I think that's his dream job.
No shit. He wants to hold a boom mic in a fucking porn because that's a very specific.
He's giving the boom mic, baby. Don't let him fool
Look,
you.
I'm gonna be fucking. I want to get a camera on my face because I'm a gross human being. So I know like halfway through I'm just gonna be like,
Dude, that is a great idea for a comedy kind of show where you are just recording the facial expressions of the film crew for the pornos.
I want
And
to.
find one of those prolapse butthole pornos and see what these guys.
Who do you call?
Hey, you know what the most fucked up shit I ever seen? And I tried to make this a bit, but watching porn and shit's getting a little out of hand. All right, I understand the whole gagging with the head shit and I get it. Girls, even some girls seem to be into it nowadays. But the plug in the nose while you're gagging, that's just like that's crossing the line.
I'm watching a video and you're making me uncomfortable doing that. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Why?
Why plug the nose?
Why?
Like.
That takes so much concentration too. Like, what are you doing? I think there's like a rule of the internet where if you can think of it, there's a porn for it because if you could think of it, there is a fucking porn for it. There's a porn for fucking people are fucking disgusting. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And like,
There's those Furby things, those
fluff or furries.
furries.
That's interesting to me too because like I've never looked into it, but it's always been like at first they were like, yeah, they like to fuck as those animals, and now it's
Most of them are like asexual thing, I think.
See, like now when I hear it's just like, dude, we're just weird dudes that like the show. Leave us alone. And it's like, okay, I didn't care either way. I mean, more power to you. I kind of liked you more if you fucked. That's cooler.
I thought it was a sexual like pineapple on the doorstep kind of thing. And now you got the pineapple T-shirt. Yeah.
That's why I bought it. It's not why I bought it. My mom.
I just learned about it. I didn't know, but I don't have neighbors like that because if you're up here and you can see a pineapple on my doorstep, you're shot. Yeah.
It's big in Newtown. Like it's popular in Newtown. You can walk around Newtown right now. I guarantee there's tons of pineapples out.
But there's not tons of size. Never mind.
I'm
not gonna do it. I did enough of that on the last episode with Gary. I did a little bit of a few jokes that were probably not good. I got to do some editing.
You know what? Gary never was on the episode. I'm sorry. We're just not going to release it.
No, we will. I just hate how I just don't like being brought into stuff that has nothing to do with me. And I thought like we talked about shit before. I don't know the situation. I'm cool with both of them. Me and HG are cool. I've gone and picked him up, given him a ride. We all rode together to the Centralia Tim Law show. We were all like, I've done,
That man is a character.
Yeah,
A caricature.
Yeah, and Gary, he put me on shows. He's done nothing. Never done any negative towards me. I've got no quarrels. No.
I like the guy.
Me and him are cool. I don't have any issues with Max Price. I don't know the motherfucker. He's not like, he don't like me. I don't know if he doesn't like me. We just don't. We're not like that. We don't.
I think he wants to kiss.
We don't like. We
don't.
Like
I really want to kiss that guy for some reason.
It does seem like he will go out of the way to be like, fuck that guy. I'm not even gonna say hi back or something or give the nod. The gentleman's nod that you.
Something you avoid when you want to kiss that person.
If that's your thing, that's your thing. I get it.
I've never noticed because I don't look people in the eye or.
Oh, that's my thing. It's a part of like the classes I took in business that was like that was part of like the psychological and like better handshaking skills, how to be psychologically a better, like to immediately at first
Yeah.
impressions is everything, because it takes like 5 meetings for 30 minutes after that of a person actually meeting you to change their first impression of you. And my first impression is usually pretty bad.
Yeah,
So,
no, I've never given off a first good impression. Like nobody's ever been like, he's probably a stand-up citizen.
Don't stare at the hand when you shake it firm, stare in their eyes, and imitate them.
I just constantly in my head, I'm just like, don't look at their dick. Don't look at their dick.
dick.
It's just happened.
God, I'm looking
Like
at
I'm
his
looking,
dick.
I've been doing it the whole time.
I'm gonna suck that cock.
It's like, sir, what can I get you? Welcome to Wendy's.
But yeah, I don't know. That was a cool class. So I guess I don't know. That is something that's
Is that a
happened.
college
But Max
course?
isn't. Max is our age. Like that. I get that with these younger kids. I see it too. Like a lot of them won't look at you in the face. They look right down. They'll look at their phone and be like, I'm
I'm an attention whore, but when it's one-on-one or I'm meeting somebody, like I immediately don't want to do it. I don't want to look at anybody in the eye.
So he doesn't want to be here, guys. So fuck
No,
him.
yeah, I've been counting down the hours.
Yeah.
Can't afford a cab, so cash at me and Mike's prolapse penis.
Prolapse.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we could do a show about prolapse.
Maybe we
buttholes.
could. We probably could. I could do a full hour of prolapse. I don't need to see him.
Where'd the skittle goes in that butthole?
What the fuck does Skittles have to do with this now?
Or was it a lollipop? I don't know. It was a
Dude, what if
movie.
that happens tomorrow? Like, I don't think it's planned all the time. I mean, I'm sure it's planned sometimes because the production is just too
Are
fucking
they going to
pristine.
use fake G's?
Cheese? Jizz?
Fake
No,
jizz.
if they use fake jizz, I will fucking walk out.
I'm like, I will give you some.
Yeah,
Hang
you
on.
want real jizz? Give me 3-4 minutes. Pants are already off because I'm not wearing pants. Gonna be wearing a robe. It's gonna be open. And I don't know I don't know what to do with the boom mic. Like, I get the concept because I've seen one like in front of me before.
Yeah.
But like, I gotta stand there the whole time just while anal is happening. The god, like fucking the holy grail of sex to some perverts out there.
I'm getting kind of I've got to have I'm getting into the stories more lately. Like I really want a good. It's got to lead up. Good acting.
Oh, yeah.
I needed some better acting.
Give me a reason to be here. Give me something to.
I've got that bit that I think is brilliant about how porn industry was made $54 billion. The porn industry is $54 billion, and it's like, how? I've never seen a place you can even buy porn nowadays. When's the last time you've been jerking off to even a clip of a porno, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I've got to get a hard copy of this. Like, this is definitely getting best supporting actress.
I'm getting in my car. I'm going to fucking Pure Pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm finding it.
When's the last time you seen a sticky VHS in the corner?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can buy
Who
porn
are
anymore.
buying porn? Is it that bad?
Like I think that's why there's no new porn stars. Like I've been watching the same porn stars since I was like fucking in high school, and they're getting old, which is fine. They're still hot. I like old chicks.
No, there's some new ones out there.
There's some that could probably.
They're all on
there's,
my fans only.
yeah,
or
now
whatever.
it's OnlyFans. Which
That
is like,
shit's dumb as fuck. I went on there to look at it and see, like, because there was a chick I went to high school with. She knows who she is, baby.
I paid the $10
and
too.
me and her dated in middle school and went to like the school dance together.
Stole a
But
second.
she's like all super physically fit now, and she got on my OnlyFans, and I was like, I went and
got
checked
$10,
it out, and I was like, shit, all right, I paid, and it was worth it. And then I had to unsubscribe because I wasn't making no monthly payments and shit. Because you ain't giving me enough. You can't provide.
Yeah,
As one woman just can't provide all the content I need.
You can't for $10 a month.
Yeah.
There's a girl that
I'm very culturally,
There's a girl. There's a girl that that I'm friends with through a bar I used to always go to, and like like my good group of friends. She's a big titty goth bitch, and like she promoted it all over fucking Facebook, and I was like, so I guess it's cool. And I was like, I'm gonna see it. I want to see you naked. Paid the $10. It was like, this is a fun month, and it was like, this was a fun month of seeing you do weird shit to yourself. But that's about it for me. I can get it free from people doing weirder shit.
Yeah.
Like.
This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You haven't even done it in public yet.
You haven't even like. That's fucked up.
Yeah, like some good old suspension.
I've seen one of those live.
My neighbor tried to get me to go to him back in the day. Cool kid, not gonna go watch. No, I don't. What do you think? How do you get in the position to where you're like walking around, man? Yeah, this is a cool little place, man. Getting to. What the fuck is he doing? And then you think to stay there. Like if I start seeing someone being strung up from the ceiling or trees from hooks and chains, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm like, I've seen this movie. It does not end well for anybody, I think.
That guy's going to die and come back as the devil.
Yeah.
He's going to eat your dick.
Yeah, the guy that just went in the bathroom, he's probably going to die in there.
Yeah, that couple making out, something metal is gonna go through both of their chest.
Well, like the guy I went with, he's a tattoo artist, great tattoo artist named I forgot his name. He works at Self-Afflicted Studio. I'll give that a shout out. And he was implanting a magnet into somebody's finger so they could pick up metal shit at his house while I was hanging out there. Why? I don't know. I didn't know this was happening. I walked in and it was like, oh, surgery. And he's like, yeah, just put a magnet in his finger. And it was like Tuesday stuff. And he was like sewing him up. He's like, what are you doing tonight? And he was like, yeah, fucking jiving, wailing. I don't know. And he's like, you want to go to a suspension? I didn't know what it was.
Is it diving, whaling? Yeah, you're into some weird shit.
Yeah, and so I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever the fuck that is. He's taking me to some cool places. We get there, and it was kind of like that. I'm walking around. It was like an industrial fucking warehouse. Yeah, I was like, are we in Germany all of a sudden?
And all of a sudden, people crowded together, and
like weird. It was like one light, and it was people crowd. It was like an art display, and there was something going on there. And there was another light, but it was dark everywhere else. And I see this one, and people were like, ooh, nah, and I was like, ooh, I want to go check that out. And I walked over, and I audibly was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and they were like,
that's how exactly. I seen some shit I seen a documentary about it. I was like, nah.
Immediately, no. I was like, I'm like, they're hurting this person, and like, which he did not seem like it. He seemed more calm than anybody watching. Everybody watching him was like, what the fuck? Kind of probably the same. Just heard suspension, was like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's Tuesday, and ended up seeing the most disgusting thing in their life. And then they had free Budweiser for like 4 hours. It was great.
Hot dogs and popcorn?
They did not have hot dogs and popcorn. They had finger foods. I didn't want to eat.
I was
kind of over that.
I would want some ginger ale. Actually, my stomach would be hurting.
And he was like, "You having fun, man?" And it was like, I saw the suspension. It's like a petting zoo. What else do we do?
What is next? Are we gonna be the guys that are cracking the skull on the monkey and eating the brains out of it?
Are you gonna put a fucking metal heart into somebody's chest now? Is that what's happening? And he's like, "No, man."
Are you making Iron Man suit?
Yeah. What's happening here? What do you need me for? He did some weird shit. Anyway,
where were we? This weed is really good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to you know who.
Clint,
Chaz.
I knew a Chaz once. He was not pleasant and I'm guaranteeing it was because his name was Chaz.
I knew it's Chad. He was a dude.
He's like a step worse than Chad. Anybody named Chad is like, ugh.
Yeah, this kid was like
Why are you wearing boat shoes? It's fucking winter. Like,
yes.
Like, what are you doing? There's no boats.
Oh, well, I wore boat shoes in the winter. But see, I don't wear them out here because I'm not on I can't. My feet would be funky as fuck if I wore my boat shoes out here. I had the beach and the salt water. Like I walked down the beach with them on. They were like leather and shit. And I just got the leather ones, like everybody. Be on the pier and shit. They were industrial. Yeah. Out here, shit.
See, I rock my fucking, if I'm anywhere where I need something like that, I rock my Missouri boat shoes and get me some Crocs. They're fine. They fit fine. They're comfortable. You lose one, who gives a fuck? They float anyways. Step in the water. I'm not going anywhere where people are going to see me and they're going to be like, "You're in Crocs," and I'm like, ah. Like,
I just don't wear shoes if that's the case. What do you need them for?
What do you step on a rock? You ever been?
I don't go to y'all's floats and rivers and shit.
You go float, people fish. You step on a hook. That's the end of your day. And you and someone else.
I'm not getting in the water.
Why? What's wrong with the water?
What's all the rocks and leeches and shit y'all got? That ain't got salt in it.
I've never had a leech on me.
Well,
I've never stepped on a hook either, actually, but it's just a big fear of mine because I've lost a lot of hooks.
You also are worried about getting killed in a.
That's actually a bigger fear than most. Any like if I'm at home alone.
What was the slasher film with the cheerleader camp or not cheerleader?
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. You're worried about getting killed at sleepaway camp.
Absolutely, dude. If I'm home alone,
and you're never gonna go to a sleepaway camp with a bunch of high schoolers.
Well, there's still time. Let's not hold. Let's not.
Who does the joke? Somebody does the joke. My brother runs a camp for kids that are about to be raped.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
he says he says he's never worked a day in his life. I think it's Anthony Jeselnik.
That sounds like an Anthony Jeselnik joke. If I'm home alone, like anything, my cat can move, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you moving? What did you see? What are you seeing over there?" It's supposed to be licking herself.
Oh, cats will flip you out if you watch them and what they're looking at and shit. They're just like, I'm
I
like,
know.
yo, you need to lay off the nip, dog.
And it takes it's like that. Like I could be home alone, easy breezy, no problem. And then all of a sudden, like I'll just be like, "Hey, remember that time you saw strangers?" And it was like, "What the fuck?" And all of a sudden, like game over. Like I'm terrified. I have to have a TV on or something on to distract me. I'll sit. I have a couch that's against the wall.
Have you ever done any psychedelics?
I've done way more psychedelics than I probably should have.
Really, like DMT?
I did DMT once. It gave me a weird headache, and
No, you didn't do DMT then.
I've heard that multiple times. So
You
just
did-
to be
might have
cool,
did some
I do
trash.
say DMT because all that happened wasn't a DMT experience.
No.
All that happened is that it looked like the room like half fucking Rubik's cubed one time, and then I was like, "Oh, now my head hurts."
Yeah, did you? Yeah, no, it might have been a small amount.
Sativa.
Might have been a small amount of something in there, and they may not extract it well. But if you do it the best way to do DMT, if you're gonna do it right, get you a fucking e-nail, and we'll get you some, and
I don't know if I want. I mean,
we're gonna get rid of all these fears you've got.
So what I would do is
You
I
said
would.
you wanted to grow up. I got you.
I didn't say I wanted to grow up. I said I need to act like I do.
And you want to meet God, right?
Oh, I've been there a few times. So what I would do for the longest time is I was like, I don't know what else to do. I would take copious amounts of LSD by myself,
Nice.
and I would try and I would head on. Like I would think of something that was fucking me up, and I would fucking go after it. They would be the worst nights of my life, but I was like
The
next
best
day,
night,
the
the
best
best
day
day.
was like the best shower I've ever taken. And I mean, like after a while, you go back to like a normal feeling. So it was like I don't know if it got better or not. But it's still I would say the bad fears I had that were like legit. Now it's like I'm scared to death that the Michael Myers might stab me in the chest. Like that's fine. I mean everybody's got to be scared of something.
Yeah.
I'm just a privileged white dude, so I don't have real shit to be
Yeah.
scared of. Like I don't have a legitimate fear of being killed by an actual human being. I have a legitimate fear about
Really? I can't believe you just, what the fuck? Don't make me edit a bunch of shit.
All right, that's it. That's the last one.
We're editing that out because I laughed too hard.
I know, yeah. Everybody's in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Facebook would
This
be
is-
like, we got in trouble for letting you play that.
Yeah, well, that's. But
Yeah.
not old BitChute or whatever it is. I found that's the new YouTube for Nazis. Like they got some good stuff on there, but the comments section is just horrible.
The Nazis had some good stuff going for them.
They gotta like
Desocializing banks? Fuck yeah.
Have you ever watched that Europa documentary about the whole history? It was like pre-Nazis and like the downfall of Germany and Russia and like there's a lot of crazy shit in this. I don't want to get into it all because it's banned. You can't find it on YouTube or anything. You have to get it on like BitChute or whatever that site is called. And I watched it, and it was like in the beginning there was a lot of good history and a lot of good things that you don't ever learn about. You didn't know that Hitler had made many.
Oh, he did amazing things for Germany.
Oh,
At the
what he
beginning.
did economically.
Brought them out of the worst fucking depression.
Yeah, anyone's ever seen. Like when people say, when they talk about inflation and devaluation of a fiat currency, Germany's the first one brought up because literally people would cash their check. They were issuing $10,000 DeMarks or whatever they're called, and I don't know I don't think that's the right name, but anyways, whatever their currency was called, and literally they would get their paycheck, cash it, and it'd be like a barrel full of money, and they would run to the bread store just to be able to hopefully. But by the time they got there from that morning, got off work, got their check, and got to the bread store, price on bread had already gone up thousands. Yeah, and Hitler took it over before the whole they were Nazis and all that shit, and what he did was but there's also a lot of other things like. Winston Churchill did not like him and wanted war with him and was looking for good reasons to, but they was also making a lot of money off of the whole thing
Was that
because
before 61 when Time Magazine named him Man of the Year?
yeah, and like Winston Churchill's got a dark history.
Not Winston Churchill, Adolf Hitler.
Oh, Adolf Hitler. Yeah, yeah. I
think it
mean,
was
look at what he
60 I
did.
think it was
I
61.
think Russia has somewhat done it since the Cold War in a way. If you really look at what they've done, they really have kept their
Yeah.
nose to the ground, and now are kind of back to a competitive, not completely, but like China is now considered the
I know what's
the
scary.
number one. They are considered the strongest.
And what's scary is that all the fucking military doctrine's changing to fucking fit a war with China. Like they're preparing for that. They know what's coming. They know it's like it should have been like this urban combat that we're fighting over there, and it's all of a sudden it's changing to this war they'd expect to fight with China, and it's like immediately.
And no, there's no if we go to war with China, the rate. First off, a lot of people aren't realizing either that that's going to be a world war. Russia will get
yeah, we're
into
fucked.
it,
Oh, it's
and
fucked.
Russia and China have been becoming very friendly. They've got oil pipeline in there, so they could get away from having to worry about transferring their currency into a dollar, the American dollar, to be able to trade, to be able to for oil and everything like that. And that's going to bring ours down because yes, our currency is tied to debt, oil, and our stock markets pretty much.
And the hopes and dreams of the Bush family.
Yeah, well, the value of our dollar is tied to
Gold and Fort.
no, it's no, not at all. It's tied to the perception and the confidence of the idea, the futures. There's a futures market where you can put money in to buy things in the futures market, in the stock market, whatever. It's the futures market, and say I'm putting into this at this price because in the future it's going to be at this price.
Yeah.
And as long as that's what's controlling everything. Because if they get, for some reason, some crazy conspiracy or something happens and it gives them a negative thought on it and it thinks it's going to impact that price of grain or water or value of currency, it will spook them. It will run from the future markets, which is a big, huge indicator they use in the stock market for today's price. So when that dives, then our price actually dives, killing the price of everything. Like it's got to. I mean, you listen to some of these guys, and yes, it's typical for a bear, as they call it in the stock market, to be a bear and always think it's going to crash and to never realize that, like, okay, we are in a hot fucking great time. And they've been screaming since, because what of the history has shown, like we got 4 to like 7. Well, now the average has gone up since we were in when before COVID, we were in like our 13th or 14th record-breaking years for the market, the stock market, the Dow and everything, the NASDAQ and all that. So that usually isn't in a cycle like that. It usually goes for 4 to like 7 to 10 years, and then it comes back down and corrects, and the value of all those stocks come down. But instead, these values of these stocks and companies have just been going up, record-breaking numbers every year, and it just hasn't cooled off. So the higher it goes, it's got to come down to revalue. It's got to get back to its natural value.
Pendulum's got to swing.
Yeah, and that's basically we've been kind of seeing right now, and that's what they're working on doing. Trump was doing it with trade wars by implementing tariff taxes back onto foreign countries that were trading and using in our market. They were wanting to participate in our markets, which is the world's largest the market. Everybody wants to have their companies on the American stock market. They want to be a NASDAQ. They want to be a Dow. Most. So for that, and if you want to buy and sell product and import and export product in and out of America through your company, there's going to be tariff taxes.
Yeah.
Tariff taxes, everyone's like, we got to have these taxes for this and that, and it pays for services. And our taxes don't pay for any of our governmental services, not welfare, not the military, none of it. None of that's paid through our taxes. Our taxes pays the interest alone on our debt. That's all the American income tax and everything pays, is the tax, and it's still physically impossible. Mathematically, it is impossible for us to pay our debt off to the Federal Reserve.
Fantastic.
And it's for the first time ever, the GDP, the growth, product growth, whatever. It's basically what we produce. The amount of money we produce has now fallen. Is now lower than the amount we owe. I think we're up into the 30 trillions around there, and we only are producing like 26 or 27 trillion worth of product through a whole fiscal year, and that's never really happened. And you're also having like Warren Buffett, the famous stock market, his indicators are going off. Yeah. Red flags are going. The guy that they made the movie about, Michael Burry, The Big Short, those indicators are all going off. As far as shit, he's shorting all kinds of more companies, like just back in the day with the housing market on the movie The Big Short with Christian Bale. And there's all kinds of flags and signals going off. Trump did it by keeping volatility and unknown in the market with the trade, because one day it was like, Trump's winning the trade deal. China's gonna finally agree to their fucking whatever, and then the next day it's not. China's winning, and so nobody knew. They were just like stagnant, and the market was just kind of floating up and down, but continuously, slowly going up. When we weren't paying attention to now. China's market, while we were doing this and now we're running flat and actually going down, China's now fucking way up there. I mean, they've taken over. I was just reading a report, sorry to get off subject, but they've built this artificial sun that's like 10 million times hotter than the actual sun.
If anybody was going to do it.
How the fuck is that possible, for one? What material do we have here that can hold something that can do plasma that's hotter than our sun?
What is sun material?
Yeah, then what is... Yeah, exactly.
Not me.
Yeah, like, what is the metal that they're using to contain this entrapment that they're doing?
Copper.
Yeah.
It's aluminum. It's fucking Reynolds wrap. It's just a ball of Reynolds
wrap.
Well,
see, you've actually turned me on to that.
I turn a lot
you
of people
was good for finding new stuff. You gave me the Wall Street bets a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do you got now? What's the newest talk on the subreddits?
Talk on the subreddit. What have I been looking at now? I was still at combat footage. That's getting fucked up because like there was the Palestine and Jerusalem shit. Like you were watching it live, like watching it happen. Like these fucking rockets and intercepting rockets. It's fucking wild. Yeah. Because I don't know how any of that fucking machine work. And then you can find like it's kind of cool, whatever you know, like infantry stuff, like how they move and watching it, like watch them get ambushed and like, oh shit. He's doing that, and then you watch somebody die, and you're like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, this is real people. Fuck."
Yeah, this isn't fucking Call of Duty.
This is fucking legit. Like
they've been preparing us for.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a weird like, I don't know, like it gets you like, oh, this is cool, but then you're like, oh shit, no, like this is fucking, like you can hear 18-year-old kids calling out fucking comms, and you can hear terror. And it's like, this dude's fucking 10 years younger than me, almost 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Or more than 10 years younger than me. It's like, fuck, dude. When I was 18,
at least you recognize it. Like,
jerk off. Well, that's why I was...
Fucking Julian Assange released all that shit where they like mowed down all those kids, the van with the father driving his kids to school and shit.
I mean, that's just...
And then the EMSs. And like they showed that, and it's like no one even in America even cared. They just were like arguing about if that... like... Why do we always go to the point to where we're arguing about, okay, Julian Assange and Edward Snowden both had ousted the government for breaking the law and committing crimes, some of the worst crimes.
Yeah.
How is it that everyone's talking about Julian Assange or Edward Snowden needing to be locked up and be freed and given fucking...
It does.
They broke the law. How are we gonna take their opinion on what they think should be done with these people? They ousted you for being a criminal.
Yeah, that's like a cheating boyfriend getting called out for cheating, and he's just like, man, this bitch is crazy. And everybody's like, yeah, that girl's crazy. Like, no.
It's like, what the fuck, people? Like, we literally we vote off of. We try to figure out who's less of a criminal. And that's what we argue nowadays about. It's like, man, even if it is a conspiracy that they're trying to fucking like They want us to fight. They keep the reason that they do the political bullshit, the Republican Democrat, is to keep the ignorant fighting and not to pay attention to and actually do something. Even if that's a conspiracy, it's not hard for them to be able to realize it and be able to pull it
That's what I'm
because
saying. Like, I don't think it's a conspiracy because there's been 4 or 5 times that I think that a simple move and we'd be fucking fighting civil war right now, which I think is the only way America is going to fall.
the people don't realize what that January 6th shit, like how it. Just put it this way. Just think if those people. And in Oklahoma, did you see Oklahoma recently today with all the black militias that were marching? What if they showed up too?
We're fighting. Like
What if they showed up to the Trump thing to charge the Capitol as well?
Then it's just, do we combine hands and?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What if they were like, we don't like what's happening, and then these Trump people they ransacked it, and they were like, oh shit, all the Trump supporters, and then the black militia came, and then the white militia came, and then is there a Mexican militia? I don't know.
That's MS-13.
They all came.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? They don't realize that if they actually do, if somebody came in and infiltrated these militias and actually were like, look, it's not you guys, it's not the colors or anything. Like that's scientifically, it's fucking pigment. I think we can take that shit out of you nowadays. We can probably fix that. If you don't want to be white or black or Chinese, we can make you purple probably nowadays if we wanted to.
I've seen it. The guy didn't live, but we're doing it.
They made a whole TV show about him. They called him Barney.
Yeah,
no.
Great show.
But like,
get in trouble. The guy who played Barney. Never mind. Carry on.
They got it on Netflix, I believe, right now.
Okay, I thought like when we were kids, like the original Barney, like he was also a child molester. And it was like, did you not get a reference at all? Like,
they didn't give you a handbook.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, I understand because they're thinking subs. They're not thinking kids. They don't need to look into the background there.
Yeah,
a weird connection.
5-year-old foot long.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I honestly hope that fucking guy's dead.
Jared?
Yeah.
I
doubt it.
I seen something in the news about him. I don't know if it was like COVID related releasing him or.
Oh, they're not releasing that motherfucker.
I don't know.
He'd get killed in fucking.
Didn't he go to jail in another country?
I don't know.
Or did they put him in jail in here? Because isn't that where he was going to another country and raping little Filipinos or something like that?
Oh shit! If he goes to Filipino jail, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
Or lost, or like what they did to fucking Putin's opponent. He's lost in the prison system. Like, yeah, sure, he Epsteined himself, I guess.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Which that guy called it. That guy knew what he was doing. Like,
Yeah.
he fucking told his wife he was going to be a martyr, and like she was. I watched an interview with her where you could tell she was like, he's dead, but she just wasn't going to say it. She's like, he's lost in the prison system. They say they're going to go look for him. I pray they do, but you know all that. And it's like you're talking to somebody who knows their husband died to die to force this country to fucking possibly change, and it's like that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like that's wild. That's 2021 and shit. Like that's
I've
fucking
met a lot
Game
of people
Thrones
from
shit.
Russia and Ukraine and shit that came down on the beach. And granted, these people were the richer end of the Russians where they were in a nicer school that had this location shit to where they would locate them for some kind of school shit. And it did not. I'm able to I look at everything with an open eye. I can't even believe that North Korea is that bad from how dishonest our government is and everything they have said. I can't trust anything they said. So now it's like I'm looking at I got to remind myself like we are the bad guys. So what about all the people that we've always thought was the bad guys? So like we thought North Korea is the bad guy. They say China and Russia is the bad guy. And then I meet people from these places besides North Korea that it's like, no, it's just like over here. They tell me all the time, no, it's just like here. They don't, and you know, not China. China, I actually hear, if you're not in the cities, it's no different. Like if you're out in the country abroad, but if you get one of those technological cities they have, it can be like I guess like the technology they're using today.
It's wild.
Yeah, like credit. You have a fucking, what is it called? A public credit score or something like that. Just like if you say something wrong or have a bad attitude, it's literally these algorithms and cameras are deciding if these people are mad, if they're like if they're angry about
That's
something,
fucking
they're
Minority
analyzing
Report.
everything.
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Yes, dude. I watched a whole documentary about this crazy fucking shit, and it's like,
Dude, so like, I think of it this way. Like, Russian people are gonna be like, no, it's the same as it is over here because I mean, I'm white, so saying this, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. Like, there's a lot of bad shit when we look at the government here. But like, when I think of my day-to-day life, my everyday life, I'm generally okay. Like, I genuinely am happy. There's nothing like there's no famine in the streets. I'm eating. Sure, that's happening to people and it sucks and it needs to be addressed. But for the most part, on a grand scale, day to day, most people are happy, I think. And it's like, I think what it is, we're all just watching this government shit happen. It's like watching the popular kids fight in high school and just letting it affect us. Like, do we really care what the fuck they do? I mean, it's going to affect us
picking
eventually.
up werewolves or vampires.
But it's like right now, it's like, I don't give a, like, when people are talking about Donald Trump, it's like, this is who you wanted. And it's like, no, they just didn't want that guy. So yeah, they don't want this guy either.
That bitch that was caught, like.
It's like, nobody's happy right now. So it's like, fucking, maybe if we stop acting like we know what the fuck we're talking about when it comes to the government, look a little bit more into it, because it's not hard to not read one fucking publication. Like, read fucking three different news articles about the same thing, and
Actually read a foreign government's news or an outside view opinion on it, because
as
like
many opinions as you can get on it is what you need.
There's a YouTube channel or person that goes out there and they like take Denmark's news or something like that, some country that's like just stays out of it all.
Truly fucking neutral. Like,
yeah, and like it's completely everything. Like the way every you can definitely tell the racial, instead of saying a robber, it's a black man, or a white cop shoots black instead of another police killing, blah blah blah. No, it's you can just see all the gaslighting and the propaganda
out of there.
Like just that CNN Project Veritas caught that CNN fucking lead tech guys talking about how they're saying is if it bleeds it leads, and
it's fucking nuts. Well, it's the amount of people, and it's like people who talk
caught faking the COVID vaccine shit, and like like they staged it to like MSNBC and shit.
God
they covered for Andrew Cuomo, and isn't that his name, the governor of New York, and for killing all those old people, putting them all, packing them in with COVID people.
I'm so glad I didn't become a fucking journalist.
While he was like selling a book talking about how amazing he did on COVID, making and bribing, and then diddling girls without permission.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write a book. It's gonna blow all this over. What was I gonna say? Fuck, I'm stoned. It was right. Oh, and like, there's a lot of people, that I guess it's because it's the only people I really see anymore. But there's a lot of people in the comedy scene that like speak their mind out on this, and talk with this very intelligent sounding way. And then you look at it and you're like, you're sharing a article you found on Facebook to a website I've never heard of, and it's like, that's a big red flag. If like you're sharing something like that big of a story, and I see the website and I've never fucking heard of it, chances are it might be based off of something, but it's gonna be all fucking opinion. And it's like, dude,
you can't get anything from the news article.
Read the fucking article. Yeah. Stop reading the goddamn title of the article and thinking that's enough.
Yeah, the articles alone nowadays, like, it's been proven that they're not even. You saw when you got in the car today when I picked you up. What was it I was listening to? Some boring guy breaking down this whole bill, the bill of that 330, the executive order 330 in Nebraska, how they want to still like 3 million acres or 30% of farmland from the farmers, private farm owners, and the way they're doing it is like taxes, and like he broke every single thing down and the way it's going to affect. And yes, it was very dry and boring, but he's not on one end or the other. He's not biased on either end. He was just saying this is because he points out, and he's like, in Obama years, this is the way they did it. This is what was going on. And then Trump came along. This is what did it. Yes, they gave us this, but they put this into place, so it canceled out any kind of tax break or any kind of bailout they tried to give. Now that Biden's in, and with these, this is what they're doing, and this is how it's going to affect our food distribution and production. So Nebraska is one of the largest productions of our agriculture Like, and it's just, but what do? Control the food, control the people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's conspiratorial sounding like some kid on TikTok, but that's a true statement. You control the food and water.
I say I'm always like I like it. It's fun to think about some conspiracy theories. Other ones I don't care about, but like
The government shit.
there's
that's
some
fucked
that's
up.
getting to the points where it's like I think they're listening and they're like, that's a good idea. We should just fucking do that. Like they already think we're doing it, so like let's just fucking do it. Because it's like that's a lot of things. It's like this would have already happened, and it's like oh, but now we kind of see like this is clearly what's happening, or it's not clearly what they're trying to do, which is naturally what it's led to. Like maybe we're just naturally fucking stupid and we just want to fight with each other.
Our ability to keep saying, make these conspiracies real, like the Great Reset with the World Economic Forum releasing all that shit, saying on their page they fucked up and have already taken it off, but it said we've already got it on Snapshots and shit. It says you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. And was talking about how we're all gonna have to switch to vegetarian diets. All the private property is done with. You own nothing now. Everything's like community.
Fucking weird.
Yes, it's very weird the way that they're like, this is what we have to do to prevent the climate from changing, blah, 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 all that stuff. And
those are weird, but I also feel bad for like those times where it's like a weird word slips in on a tweet and it's like it kind of seems cryptic and it's like it was just some fucking intern tired.
Fifi.
Yeah, and he just like writes something and it like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking drain the fucking swamps or something. And it's like, no, I was saying like we're having a photo op at the White House. Like I just misspelled
I've
the
been
word.
doing Adderall for a week straight.
So they immediately
campaigning.
change it and people are just like, that's not what it meant. It's like, no, it's just because Kevin has been doing Adderall because he can't keep up with his 70-year-old boss playing golf all
That's
day.
on
and
methamphetamine.
Yeah, that's fucking parting his dick off. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and
fucking,
like he did, yeah, that well, if you go to the key code or whatever this Q people had, it was like because I looked as me, if it's wild one, every now and again I get really high. I'm like, let's see how crazy, like the flat earthers. Sometimes, and I give it to some of them flat earthers with the production quality and the amount of good, the vocabulary they're using and the way they're presenting it, very professional. You can definitely tell.
Like Scientologists.
Yeah, they definitely tell you are a professional in some industry, and you're able that you're a talker and you're able to do presentations because they do them great to where you're sitting there stoned out of your mind like,
dude, is this fucking Earth flat?
is there flat? And then you're like, get
happening?
the fuck out of here, dude. And then, I did the same thing with the QAnon. But that's what the QAnon turned in. At first, it was like, here's all these files, the WikiLeaks things. And then it was like, at first, it was just like, man, what are these emails?
Yeah.
These are fucking sketch as fuck. We know they talk in like code and shit, but there was. And then that was that FBI page that had all these code words that pedophiles used, that like talked about all these big time elite sex trafficking rings and shit like that. But then there was like, they called that a conspiracy, and it was like, well, why does the FBI have this shit on there? And I know it sounds like I'm getting in, like supporting the Q. I'm just saying these are the little things that was like super fucking weird.
I'm thinking like,
and then they took it to the blood drinking, and that's been debunked on an art studio filmmaker.
I think I honestly think, because there's been a little bit of evidence slowly throughout this thing that's pointing to the Q is the creator of 4chan, and that's who I think it is.
That guy that was like in the woods and shit, it was like, I'm not Q.
That's what
Is
I
he the
fucking
creator of 4chan?
Yeah, I think so.
And his
'Cause it's
dad,
like,
him and his dad?
yeah, and it's like I think he's just realized, like I think he kind of did.
He
What
did the
Kanye
largest-
He kind of realized nobody cared about 4chan anymore, and was like, oh, here we go. Or something like that. I don't fucking know why he did it. He owns 4chan.
He should be
He's
a
a troll.
god.
I'm assuming
He should be your god, right? Isn't he like your?
the guy who
If he
created
does
4chan?
that, no. If
Nah.
he was Q and he's been doing this troll,
No, that's not-
This is
that's-
the largest troll in the
That's
world.
not- like trolling to me there's a difference trolling from when I was like getting in the internet. There was an art form to it. Whereas like you were doing pure silliness, and it was like, yeah, sure, sometimes you would use offensive words and stuff. This is using this as a tool to fearmonger people. And like, yeah, you're fucking with them, and it is good, and like, yeah, you fucking troll it, but it's like, it's got to be funny for me. Like my trolling is like silly shit. Like
What if that was you just getting fucked up, typing random shit, and it just took
to
off
be
all
honest,
of a sudden?
like if you looked at my Discord where like my half fame is, like that's a lot of my shit. Like I will say I'll get super stoned. If for some reason when I'm high online, I can just flow without talking to anybody. So like in Discord chats are just 90 miles a minute. You can't really keep up anyway. So I'll just go. And I'll just start talking, and people will catch on to what's going on with what I'm saying, and they'll start joining in, and I'll just like, and it's this weird flow of nonsense mixed with shit I find hilarious. I don't know if anybody, they're not telling me if they find it hilarious. I don't give a fuck. And I'll just go on these rants about shit, and I'll come up with them as I go, and I'll build on them with the stupidest shit I can think of, and try and it gets weird. And
That's how you get called out. Like, what the fuck
dude,
are you talking about?
There's a lot of times where I'll even like halfway through it be like, and do any of you have any fucking clue what I'm talking about right now? And they're like, no. It was like, me neither. Like, I don't fucking know what I'm saying. Like, it's so that's fun. But like, what that person's doing is like, I think if you're using it for an agenda, if like that's the case.
That's a Trump agenda. Yeah, he was. Yeah, definitely.
If that guy, well,
I was able to use that as a political.
I would assume the guy who's doing that is using it to fit his agenda. I would assume. If you're that big of a troll to where you're like, nah, I'm just wanting, then you're just like, get the fuck out of your mom's basement, you fucking neckbeard piece of shit. Like, that's weird.
I thought 4chan's where you guys were birthed.
That's where I used to fuck
house.
around on 4chan. I used to like a lot of the fucked up stories I read were like a lot of green text, so it wasn't real, but like you never knew. Like the fucking I was telling Angel about this the other day. The fucking Jolly Rancher story to this day will stick with me. First time I read it, and then I finally found out it was fake, but it's still the most disgusting thing I've ever read. It's about this. It's a guy, and he's using 4chan like he's asking a question, and it's all anonymous, and he's going, and it's basically he was in college, him and his girl. They were, when they went off to college, they just started becoming sexual and shit, and he would go down on her, and he goes, well, I went and visited her this week, and I was going down on her, and it smelled like really bad, and it kind of had a weird taste. And he's like, but I don't fucking know. He's like, so I didn't want to
I didn't want to be offensive.
I didn't want to fucking be an asshole and say anything. He's like, so the next time I just popped a Jolly Rancher in my mouth, and he goes, and I fucking immediately lost it. And he goes, well, I ended up digging around without anything, and I found it, and I ended up chomping down, and it turns out I didn't grab my Jolly Rancher. It turns out chlamydia builds up these fucking mucus balls in vaginas, or it's one of the sex. And he's like, and I got one of those in my mouth. And like, dude, when that happened, I almost threw up when I was reading it. I was like, what the fuck? And like, immediately people were like, I don't care if it is or not, just say it's green text, because that means it's fake. And like, the kid just stopped responding. And it says it's green text, and he never confirmed if it was or not. I think people just...
Has anyone looked that up to see if that's real?
I mean, they tried to. I think there's a sense sometimes where it's like, okay, like there is a too good to be true on the internet, where it's like, okay, too much. This is too fucked up. Like this is too like without proof. It's got to be fake. If you had proof, that poor boy, whoever the fuck he is, God rest his soul. Or Cumbox, that one had pictures. That was Reddit though.
What was Cumbox?
Cumbox was a fucking, I can't remember what subreddit it was, but it was a post about this guy's like he came home from college for like one of the breaks, and he goes, my parents kept my room the same as it was, and he goes, and I'm sleeping. He goes, and every night I've stayed in my room. At some point my stomach started hurting, and I got really sick. And he's like, so I thought I had like some mold or something because they didn't go in there. And he goes, so I was digging around underneath my fucking bed. And he goes, I found a fucking shoebox in the back corner. And he goes, and before I even grabbed it, I automatically remembered. He goes, my fucking senior year, I bought a pair of fucking Nikes. I kept the shoebox, and he goes, and I was fucking jerking off, and I didn't know what to do with it. He's like, so it just come in the box. And he's like, and I was gonna fucking ditch it, at some point. He goes, I guess I forgot, and I got fucking moldy and gross, and it was causing me to get sick. It was right under his pillow, and he took pictures of it, and I mean, it's like a line of photos. It's one of like Reddit's like history. Like they have a subreddit about like the historical posts. It's like one of the top ones because it's like it fucked Reddit up. Like people were just like, what the like again? They're just like, you have pictures? Like you fucking monster.
This is not real.
It's so
Are you uploading pictures?
Like,
is that a JPEG? Oh boy, yeah. See, I just still haven't jumped on. I think I downloaded it and then deleted the app because I didn't know what it was. I forgot what it was. Because I need to be able to. The ones I get into, usually, like there's a lot of. I guess I get left with cliffhangers a lot, but I really like the government cover up shit. The shit that they get caught covering up or thinking they were slick with covering up, and like
A subreddit you would like. This is off topic. A subreddit you would like because it's fucking got a lot of great resources. Is the stand-up subreddit. They have fantastic fucking resources. I mean, on their Wikipedia page and just people posting like they'll just post like a fucking podcast you've never heard of, and it's like, here's John Mulaney breaking down his last special bit by bit, and it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna watch that. There's one really cool one where somebody does this whole scientific breakdown of like laughs per minute, set up to punch, and it shows the special happening, but it shows the words and it like words different colors with different meanings and stuff, and it's an Ali Wong joke from her special, like a really long one, and it's like an hour long. And it breaks this down, and it's such a. The guy's even like, I'm not a stand-up comedian. I just really like the way this art form plays out. And he's like, so I put this thing together. I mean, it's in detail. He's like, I use a lot of
Send
like.
me a link to that.
He's like, I use a lot of like what you use in stand-up. He's like, so like the laughs per minute, which I've never used. I don't know really how.
I kind of did that. I've watched something. They were like, if you're new. And you're not ready to move on and try to do anything else besides open mics and comedy, and if you're not able to get this much laugh, if you're not able to get this many laughs per minute, and I think I was hitting that as soon as I became like really just started doing one-liners real hard. I was hitting that like that.
See, like that's
especially now that I've really polished it. Like I know where I can be silent and get awkward silent laughs and stuff like that, and like small tags and fist bump a crowd member. And
sometimes you got to
little things that I know where I can get laughs. And now it's like,
well, I kind of realized that like, oh my whole thing revolves around like leaving a lot of space to play around in. I had to kind of like not think about laughs per minute because that put a goal to it to where I felt was going to lock me down into like, okay, now I want to have a set to where I know I'm going to go into the set. I know I'm going to get those laughs per minute. And I didn't really want that. And I feel like I hindered myself so bad by reading any stand-up comedy book besides fucking Rob's, because that one doesn't talk about joke writing. That one doesn't talk about how to be a stand-up.
Yeah,
it talks
I tried
about
to make
stuff.
it through the one that you told me about back in the day when you first came on, Judy.
Yeah, like that one's the big one, and like I've read it, and it's got some decent ideas.
But she's like, pause now.
No, I couldn't listen to her.
Oh my god,
she's
rough.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's rough. I haven't made it through much of it, and it's just like I'm like at this point. I think I've watched so many of those different ones on YouTube and different podcasts. It's like everybody else is regurgitating the same.
It is. It really is. You're going to hear the same.
The best way to give a bet, I've learned because I do it on my the part of my podcast. I always ask comedians what are their best thing, the best tip they got, or the best. What did it make it click? And I think I've explained it a little bit better. Everybody, when they're doing like a job, a hobby, anything that they're into, we're into comedy. That's our hobby. That's what we like to do. We want to make it a job. And through growing in each stage of your development, something clicks in your head that's like, I get it now. Somebody says something the right way, or some reason you're just sitting there watching it, and you see it. You see the rhythm of a comedy, of how they're like, or you're seeing all that shit that you just said. Like they break down. You recognize that all of a sudden. You're like, oh, I get it. Just little things, and that's part of each step in your development. You realize other little things, and it just starts to click. And that's what I always ask them. What is that thing what things have you noticed throughout your development that they start to click where you're like, oh, okay.
I think the weird thing for me is like, like being funny was something that's been my whole, like there's nothing special about me besides I'm funny, and I've always been funny, and I've learned that at a very early age. So it was like my whole identity. So I got really good at it, and I knew I was good at it. It's the only way I could talk to people. Like I can't remember who told me to. It's like somebody one time at Funny Bone was just like, "Do you always talk in bits?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "You're always talking in a bit." And it was like, "No, I'm not." And it was like, "That's just how I fucking talk. Like I'm always just joking, I guess. I mean, I'm not doing bits. Like I don't fucking know." So I've kind of always had an idea of who I was, but I still don't necessarily know how to do it perfectly on stage every time.
What is the chive?
The chive is the bro Reddit, pretty much. It's a lot of funny pictures, kind of. It's like E-Bomb's World, kind of, without...
Slide.
It's not that cool.
Brain buddy.
People used
Quit
to...
porn forever?
Yeah, see stuff like that. What the fuck's that all about?
These are just apps that when I typed in subreddit.
Why are you typing in subreddit? Why would
That's
you
what you
type it?
said.
No, type in Reddit.
Bacon reader for Reddit. What is that?
That's so Reddit itself doesn't have its own app. It's community driven apps. So there's like 3 different apps you can get. They're all fine. I don't use that one. It's not for no reason. I just the first.
What is Tumblr? Hell site.
Tumblr is the worst fucking place in the world.
What is it?
Tumblr is
brain effect. It just says hell site.
I don't know what that is.
That's what it's described as.
Tumblr is it's a blog. Like you have a personal blog. That's your page and shit. And it has been the haven for like ultra fucking like unreasonable liberal fucking children. And like, there's a fucking great little YouTube documentary because at one time they were like, we're going to go to 4chan and we're going to post like positive stupid.
Oh, yeah.
And then 4chan just like, fucked them up for like a week.
Like, we're ready. Bring that. We've been waiting.
And the user base amount is so fucking radically different. Like Tumblr is so much bigger user base than fucking 4chan. And 4chan came in a week, like it caused 3 people to brick their own computers by fucking with them, which is hilarious, but like fucked up, but hilarious. And then
Apollo. What's the Apollo for Reddit?
I might just be another app.
Apollo for award-winning Reddit app.
Yeah, so that's just going to be another Reddit browser, I guess is what you'll call it.
I don't get this, man. But what is this? Reddit. Dive into anything. Editor's choice.
So they're all going to take you to the same place. It's basically it takes you to the website and it's a browser for it. So there's some have different functions for it, I guess. Mine just does what you want Reddit to do.
We're getting into Reddit, guys. I think I did this last time.
Yeah, there's a lot of so it's like a lot of it is just kind of thinking like I spend a lot of time looking at my Reddit homepage, hitting the fucking random subreddit thing, because there's something for everything almost, and so you just whatever you want to think of, type it in, there you go. There's probably a couple different subreddits for it.
I think of some crazy shit sometimes. Even DuckDuckGo be like, I don't know, homie.
So you gotta go to Bing for that stuff. Bing has no fucking chill. Bing, you can be like school bus. Go to images, search pictures of the girl getting bang bus on the fucking school bus. It's like, what the fuck?
I gotta update this bitch. I thought I just updated this motherfucker.
But like Reddit, so like I like to use Reddit for like news browsing. Like it's not how I get my news, but it gives you go to the news subreddit and it just anybody can post news articles as long as they're from a credible source. And so you get to see pretty much everything that's happening or an idea of everything that's happening that's big. And then it's like if I see anything important. Most of the time these days I either avoid it or I read through it and I'm like, all of this sucks. Cool. Like still there. And then I just go look at porn on Reddit or something.
Porn on Reddit.
Oh, dude, it's the same thing. If you can think about the porn, you can find the subreddit for it. You like lesbians with small dildos? Cool. You like lesbians with big dildos? 2 separate subreddits. Why? I don't know. People like specific things.
My mom worked at the Dr. John's in Finn for a long time, and she said one of the biggest sales was like lesbians and like the more butch ones buying gay male porn to watch. I'd never understood that.
That's just fucking. That's just watching film.
Yeah, they're just studying, bitch.
Yeah, they're getting ready.
Yeah,
they want to know how to do everything.
They do. They've hacked the code, huh? But they got to deal with each other. I
don't know. I still find it absolutely hysterical anytime 2 women scissor in a porno. It is the funniest fucking concept that works and that happens.
Do they get off?
No, it doesn't. I don't know if it works or not, but I've never. It's not something that happens. It just looks stupid.
Just looks stupid.
It looks really dumb. Like it's like, what are you doing? Like you're just slamming your genitals into each other for. I mean, in reality, the dumb ones are the guys that are like, yeah, that's hot. As these girls are making, however much money porn stars make to slam vaginas. Slam clams.
Slam clam. You going to the clam slam tonight, bud?
If there's no clam slamming tomorrow, I'm probably gonna fucking leave.
Oh man, the clam slam's canceled.
So yeah, dude, I'm like hopefully this guy, maybe not the guy, but I don't know how much the girl in the production is, but hopefully this guy takes a liking to me because it's like I would bust into the fucking porn industry.
He said, I would bust into this chick that's getting
didn't
anal.
even mean to fucking say bust like that, but it worked. So
Bust
keep
it,
yeah.
bust. Whatever that song is.
Bow, 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 bow.
He's like, I will cut the beard, keep the stash.
Oh, dude, I fucking rock a mustache, and I like. It's how fucking cool would that be to be like, what did you do the day before you turned 30? And it's like, I was in a porno, got chlamydia. Separate occasions, unrelated.
Holy shit! I didn't realize that this underground comedians thing. Since I started it way before COVID hit, and I've really done nothing with it. And I guess where did it say 300? I'm almost at the 400 likes and shit from just random people seeing it. You know, comedy stuff.
Comedy into search, and that comes up.
Yeah, it hit liking. I guess so. I wish I could. I wanted to change the name, but I seen that and was like, meh.
See, that's what I like. Like comedy commons. I don't even know if I forgot it already. I picked that name.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that? What is this? What are you coming with?
What am I coming up with here is Comedy Commons. There's a website. Do you want the bottom half to do that?
Do what? That was a stage.
Oh, okay. I can't really see. I thought that was a city.
Okay, you don't have to. You're not good at coming up with excuses. You can say it sucks. If you were
no, it's a good concept art. I'll give you that. I wouldn't use it.
Don't. But
okay, I will.
Jesus. I need you to make some shit up though.
I know that
with the quickness by tonight.
Idea. I will have it done tonight. So the Comedy Commons is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna need help from you listeners at home, except for you, Ronaldo. We actually don't need your help on this one. There's All Things Comedy, which is Bill Burr and oh god, what is that guy's name? I can't think of his name. Really nerdy, kind of Indian guy. Oh god, what is his name? Anyways, Bill Burr and another comedian, and it's pretty much they host, like they do a bunch of videos with a bunch of comics. They host a lot of their podcasts. They put out records and albums and specials and whatnot, and they have a website and a YouTube. So what I thought is, why not get St. Louis's best of the best? Wouldn't by that I mean me and Brad. And why don't we put out videos and maybe get some podcasts on there, and just anybody in St. Louis that's making comedy that wants to put something out, we can filter it through one hub. So you're not gonna have to split views, and not possibly not. You're gonna need all one big view.
It's another place for you to put your content.
Yeah.
With a link to your website or your pages to drive traffic to you. Yes, we would be getting traffic, but it's to drive traffic to. It's
still your video. It's still getting your views.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna put out a lot of my videos first, just to get the ball rolling.
He says that, but we've written up a lot of sketches.
I have not filmed a single one. I say a lot of things. I once said I was gonna be. I don't know where to go with that. Yeah, and then we're just gonna. It's gonna be the first step into the fucking artist commune that St. Louis fucking needs in the comedy scene, where people we could hang out not at a bar, it's not an establishment, something like that kind of thing. Like, that's what I want it to lead into. That's you know what I'm trying to say. That word, predecessor.
Yeah.
Processor. Masseuse.
Yeah, you're gonna be. Are you gonna do like? It's basically going to be everything that's around here in comedy.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah. I mean, like anybody who wants
shows that you want to promote, and yes, I guess there's Facebook pages like that, but it's not going to be like a bunch of people on there. It's not going to be a blog of people talking, commenting, is it?
No.
On the videos, I guess, if it's depending on the platform, they can, but it's not. Your thing isn't going to be a bunch of forums and stuff for people to talk shit and
no. I mean, I've thought about adding a blog section. It's like comics want to write like a think piece on something in comedy, they can, but then I've looked into them and it's all really like everybody who does that, it's all shitty. It's all hatred about comedy and stuff, and a lot of them are pointing out really solid reasons to hate comedy, but it's like, okay, that's kind of counterproductive what I'm going for anyways.
Yeah.
So they can do that. That's fine. I'm just not going to do it. But like, yeah, if you want to do, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do with the content you want to put out. But to me, everybody's going to do a sketch. Everybody's going to do, just a comic commentating on something. I like the idea that like all things from comedy does. They do like the poker thing, and we're not necessarily going to sit down and play poker with comics, but I like the idea that it's a different thing. There's an idea I've had a lot recently is the UK has panel shows. They have a shit ton of them, and it's just they're fucking awesome, and it's all comics, and it's like not only is it really funny content, and it's a really fun, interesting new way. Well, not new there, but new here way of like seeing comedy. But also, if you're a comic, you're riffing. It's not written, so you're out there working on shit the same way.
Yeah, you're exercising muscles you don't usually get to.
Yeah, and like
and having a good time doing it because those things are you can see they have fun.
Yeah, you learn to work in a setting like that where you got 4 people that need to learn how to not all fucking talk at the same time and how to get your bits in.
We want to bring every little clique that there is in comedy for some reason together on one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't want to be like I don't need to be the banner guy, but like, yeah, come with your fun. We'll put it up, even if I don't think it's funny. I'll put it up. I'll tell you I think it's funny. I'm not here to correct your videos. I'm just here to put them out, and hopefully we'll all benefit. And if not,
But you're gonna record a few different things. You want to start your own little podcast, right? About
I don't know
recording porn film crews.
If I could get into the porn film career where it's roll the dice tomorrow, I will start a podcast about that I might talk to because it would be kind of cool, like the shooting the reaction thing. I think it would be kind of cool for like a series of Mike does everything as a crew member on a porn set. Like I do the boom mic one day, I hold the camera one day, like I have to do like fucking towel guy one day, like just to see how fucking. I mean, it's got to be awful for the performers. I've done shows. I mean, it's take after take after take after 30 seconds of dialogue. It's got to be this. Though. I mean, yeah, it's still sex, so it's still fun. But like, how hard can you be?
Those people are pretty open-minded too.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of weird shit. They're prolapsing their own anuses for our own entertainment. That's fucking commitment to the game.
Gapers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hero. That's an American hero. If you're gaping,
we invented the gape. Damn it.
If you're gaping your own asshole, for me to just
hold a boom mic at to hear the.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it in there. That's how I'm gonna end that. Yeah, it's just me, the fucking person filming, and the 2 actors, and it's like we're gonna get murdered. Like that's it.
Yeah,
like
you got a gun, don't you? You don't carry, do you?
No, I got a boom mic though, and that's gonna be my. Get back.
Damn, yeah, no. See,
I think it's gonna be fun to do the back and forth with like the point of the mic, like whenever they're making noises, and try keeping up with that. I also have very weak arms, so
I want to get me a Biden Harris T-shirt. And I want to wear a mask, and I'm going to carry my gun, and I'm just going to confuse it with my dreads. I'm going to be like, what the fuck happened?
You're going to get shot.
They're going to be like, what happened? And then hanging out of the back of my pants in my back my back pocket is going to be a red Make America Great 2020 hat. And they're going to be like, what is this? And I'm going to wear one Columbus, what is it, British night shoe and one
everything about his fucking outfit is riveting. There's a guy... Like you said, the flag. It is kind of funny, like the Trump people that still have their flags out. It's like, come on. But there's a guy I saw recently, like a Honda.
That's all over the world.
Just this, like,
right now.
Yeah.
These protests that are going on, they got Trump flags flying. I'm like, damn, they got it. They're
and even in your country,
they're sieging all the capitals.
It's like when Ben Shapiro talks about it, it's like, bitch, you ain't even from here, you Canadian ass motherfucker. Like, God,
dude,
damn.
he is like He talks about a big game about being a man.
He ain't married. I guarantee that wife is fake. His wife is from Canada, I bet.
Like he talks this big game about it, but then he's like the biggest snowflake out there.
Like I feel like I would just put my hand on his forehead, and eventually he'd just be like, "Mom."
Yeah, I cannot believe I am just so offended.
That guy was blown away by a song about wet vaginas. Like you would think he'd never seen a vagina, and I don't think he has. Because whenever he's talking about his wife the whole time, I'm like, that bitch is fake. Like that bitch isn't real.
No, I think he said some shit. People called him out. He was like, he said something about them maybe they need to get a checkup. Something might not be right, and it's like, No, you just ain't never got no pussy wet, you little fucking bitch.
Sorry, you got to spit on vaginas to get anything.
All he's ever used is KY to wet his ass.
Because I'm telling you right now, I watched that video.
Nothing wrong with that.
I watched that video and I was wet. So like, there's something wrong with him. That video got me hyped.
I looked it up on Pornhub, hoping they did a
they didn't
explicit
extensive look. And both of them have
like back in the day, tip drill. You remember tip drill? You could only catch that on BET on back in the day. I don't even remember the lyrics. I just remember ass and titties and fucking credit cards sliding through cracks
the
of
whole
asses.
time I thought tip drill was a football drill where you tip the ball. That's honestly what I thought.
Can you believe they took his foundation for like bone marrow research and development or some shit because his sister was sick with it and he had this whole foundation for it and they stripped him of it after that song because they said he was womanizing these women because he slid a credit card down the crack of
because
one of their asses.
He's done something everybody's wanted to do to somebody. That's not a man and woman thing. Everybody's been like,
but he said she got paid good for that shit.
What? I got a credit score.
Yeah,
it's good credit line.
No, I think the one rapper that really did a well transition into the elite kind of not like conspiracy elite, but just the top of the top connections was Jay-Z.
Yeah,
like
he runs New York. He fucking runs New York.
I love that T-shirt. I remember I seen it's like a meme too, and it's like these gangsters on the bottom with the chains and the 40s and the guns, and they're like, "We run New York," and then on top it's like these Wall Street bankers with champagne, and they're like in suits, and they're like, ha, 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 ha. They think they run New York, and it's like that's the perfect meme there.
Jay-Z. He must be a special human being because, one, he's the ugliest person I think I've ever seen in my life, and he's still married to Beyonce, happily. Somehow maintained a sane friendship with Kanye West, so I think he's like a dog trainer or something like that, I'm assuming. He's like Caesar Milan, and he just calms him the fuck down.
The thing about Kanye is when he sat down with Joe Rogan and a couple other things I've watched him in, he is intelligent. It's just his intelligence and his... For him, so like I said, a lot of reason these conspiracies nowadays are taking off so much is because a lot of smart people are actually getting into them and they're putting really smart, intelligent things to them that can they can grasp a little bit of information, and then they tie it to all this other stuff that
pulls at your biases. You want to believe something, you're going to find ways to believe it.
And then it's like, I don't know. They're just really good. And the production value is really good. The weed's fucking really strong. It's just like, how can you not believe? Like me, I'm a firm believer like 9/11 was an inside job and they did it. There's just too much evidence. If you want to go to fucking alien scientist or some shit like that, it's this kid that was a physics major and he's got a YouTube channel and he's all into the UFO shit right now, and he like has debunked a bunch of stuff, and then he's like fallen in and found a bunch of other stuff for like anti-gravity and stuff like that. But he, in his early days of college, he released years ago a whole fucking documentary, like an hour and 40-minute long video connecting, not about all the crazy conspiracy shit. He followed them. You know, they always say follow the money. He followed these bitches all the way back to loans in kindergarten. Like they bought juicy box. Yeah. They bought a juice box for him. Like he had that shit documented, and the companies that they ran, and what their technologies these companies produced, what is classified about these. I mean, he did it all. He took it and did what basically Edward Snowden said the CIA was doing. Took one person, connected it to two people, and those two people now connected the two people that know them. And he did that with the money trail. And it's just there's so much evidence in this, the fact that they sealed the whole. They only spent, I think it was like $12 million on the investigation of that whole thing. They spent 2 years doing it. They spent $100 and something million on the Russia thing for Trump that they didn't even win. Okay, that just shows you the importance that they had. And then the people that they put in charge of investigating that were the people that were financially it's gnarly. The whole 9/11 thing, there's like thousands of the top world fucking architectures, and John Hopkins School of Architecture or whatever ran this badass supercomputer with simulations for years on trying to figure out what could have happened.
Yeah.
And it was just like It had to have been there. I think they said the only way for that to have happened the way it did, there would have had to been like like hundreds of certain beams and steel ties that would just, it would have been no way that the crew didn't put them in to building the building, the people didn't put that in, and then they've got pictures of this crew that came in because everyone knows they shut down they had the whole elevator, the center of the building, the elevator thing shut down, and they had these people coming in and out, and then they got boxes with this writing on it, and they match the same boxes that are on this like army base that are detonators for fucking these synthetic nanoparticle bombs. And then in all the dust, because they have that shit still, all of this nano fucking shit, this nano explosive shit is in every single particle. It's in all the dust. It's in everything. There was the heat that it was. Like they couldn't put the fires out for months. Like they would clean it up and the air would hit that shit and it would just reunite. And so hot that it was just molten puddles of molten metal. And like there's no jet fuel would have all have been fucking evaporated and burned off. The fact is it's all the biggest tale. Building 7. The fire, no one even knows about the Building 7. It was the one that didn't get hit, and that went down. And that's because it had an office fire. And this is one of the most protected, the building was built to withstand a bomb.
To withstand a plane?
Yeah. No, it didn't even get hit by a plane. It was like hundreds of yards or like away. Building 7 collapsed and there was a fire in one of the offices. And the report shows, and the recording show, the fire department crew that went and put it out saying all the fires are out. They're leaving, and then it just fucking collapses. And they've got fucking like...
Firefighters just like, fuck.
Yeah, and it was there was nothing in that building. They had no fuel, no plane, no nothing. All it was some furniture that made a concrete steel building collapse in on itself. That is physically that's why there's like thousands of these people, the fire people that were first responders, architects that have studied it and have done simulations on it, engineers, scientists, all of it, geologists that have studied the sonar or whatever, and there's a lot of shit with that. Like you see all the spikes and everything moments before the buildings fall, as if these things are going off. You've got firsthand witnesses and videos of people saying and talking about it, the explosions going off. And they signed. They're like, we want the report opened and we want it reinvestigated. And they've come out with this petition just a couple years ago. They did.
Yeah.
There's a huge fucking thing for that the media has just been silent on.
I honestly think we need another 9/11. Like, I don't want people to die, but like, we need a tragedy.
We don't need the 9/11 because that killed a lot of innocent people that had nothing to do with it. We just need, if they would have flown that into like, let's say where they have that big meeting with all the politicians get into one room and vote. It should have been much better. If they would have flown a couple planes into that, then we would have been great.
We would have been living on Easy Breezy Street. That's true. But like, I mean, I hate to say it, we need a fucking tragedy because we're so fucking separated from each other in a community. Like, I don't know my neighbors, and like, I don't think you need to know your neighbors, but I also think we survive. Our bodies are wired, our brains are wired to be in core small groups that work together that need to live. So it's like you need we need it. So like when 9/11 happened, people were like, "Holy fuck, I care about you!" All of a sudden, it lasted 34 hours maybe best, but that next day it was like, "Holy shit!" Like. Fucking I was patriotic and I was like 9, and the only time I get patriotic is whenever like an American wins the fucking chess championship or something like that. I get oddly patriotic for that shit. But like,
did you see what was it? It was like a math or some kind of shit. It was
fucking,
just all Asians on the American team.
Yeah, and I don't care. They're rocking.
That just shows you. That's a good point. Some comedian or somebody pointed out. Look at the Olympics. Look at how you can say a lot about this country, yes, and there is a lot of fucked up shit that we can't ever repay, we can't ever fix, we can never. There's just no way that we can fix
Ellen DeGeneres.
Rights the wrongs of what our American history is all really about and built off of. But no other country. Look at the Olympics. Is there any white people or black people on the China team? Look at all the African countries. Is there any white or Chinese or Indian?
No, we got all the flavors. We are the
But look at
Olympics.
America. We have Asians. We have African Americans. We have natives. We have all cultures that we allow there. That is
Two
one
black
thing.
Asians.
So you got to expect there is going to be, for a long time, we're going to have a lot of more turmoil. But just think, we are going to be ahead of the curve on the rest of the countries that are now starting to see more mixture, more migrations of other cultures into their societies. And we're already ahead of them on that. And we're getting, yes, the racism is a fucked up thing. I know it is, but it's going to be a lot worse when just look at Pakistan and Israel. That's going to be the same thing that's going on with China and India. No one's talking about that really, but China and India was fucking each other up, and they don't like each other. What about when those cultures integrate more into each other's societies and cultures? We are doing that. We are taking everything and throwing it in one pot. Maybe it's not a good idea. It is a big experiment.
So far, it has been
but
great for the white guys.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. It's like, if the aliens come back or the gods come and they're like, our creator, let's just put it, if our creator came back to us, I want to know who's the person who's going to ask and be like, hey, man, who thought of the different races?
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, John was that department. He thought it'd be fun and artistic and add some character. But we just realized that the white ones really fucked everything up. You guys really, really like murder.
He thought it was cool, but he made the white ones really hateful. They were just angry folks.
Yeah, and
the Canadians, they're still racist somehow. They still found hate.
No, we wouldn't even fly by this planet for a long time. We locked our spaceships up when we would fly by.
It's like we were hoping next time we were here, everything played out, worked itself out. We could move our vacation home here, but no, here you guys are, still hatred.
Well, they're here though. The aliens. Have you seen how isn't it? Have you seen any of the news lately?
Yeah, I don't.
Is that not crazy? Was I not talking about this last year? Like
not
a conspiracy
talking about
theory?
fucking UFOs. No, yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
I've been talking about it for fucking years.
what the fuck did the guy say? I can't remember what interview it was. It was one of the guys, and he's just like, the thing.
I want apologies, goddammit.
Scared the fuck out of me.
This is bullshit. I was ridiculed and everything. You said you're crazy.
I saw it. I was there.
I'm not crazy.
I did. I did call him crazy as well. I was the one. Okay. It was just me calling him crazy. Here's the thing. That thing that he said. I was like background listening to him talk, and he's like, we don't know what they are, but they're out there. He kind of said something that like it stopped me, and I was like, that's fucking horrifying to hear on CNN. And he was just like, the thing is, he's like, they've been there for however long. They're there. They're watching us. We don't know what they could do. And it was just like,
They just did release another one yesterday, and it's all these UFOs are surrounding this big, huge naval ship on the radar, and it's just like they're just coming in, surrounding this shit, and then like boop out of radar.
What is happening? Like, why now? Why was I'm like about to take off, and the world's about to end with some Will Smith Armageddon shit.
What I'm really thinking it might be because a lot of these science magazines that are releasing studies and experiments that are being done and the conclusions of them, a lot of the science that you're seeing right now has a lot to do with these physicists are looking into like space, time, gravity, different dimensions, multiverse. They're really studying all these things. Lots of money's going into the research of these different dimensions and universes. And
how much debt are we in?
Yeah. Not just that, the debt that we know about is 30 grand. The audit on the Pentagon, they can't find like almost 30 trillion.
Somewhere in the pentagram.
Yeah. They just did some accounting errors. It was like
just in a box.
And last time when they first started counting it, 9/11 happened. And then where they kept all the accounting papers, that plane that had no debris flew into that exact spot of the building that they had just remodeled to withstand a fucking missile.
It's one of those things where it's like there's got to be like, did they just give up trying at some point where they're just like, they're not even paying attention. We could just do this stuff and not say we did it. And it's like, because there's nothing that they've done that's like everything that I find out is like they didn't even try. They're just like, yeah, they're not gonna find this
they
out. And
didn't
if they
try.
do, we'll just be like, no, wasn't us.
No. Just like this whole UFO thing, like all the CIA people and the Pentagon people, and they're like, yeah, it's really crazy. It's what's going on. And it's like, you've known about this. That video was recorded in 2014. Stop playing us like it's new to you, too.
Bruh.
You know what the fuck's going on. You've got all the fucking files in there. We've been talking about this shit since before I was born. They've been talking about
Also,
this
what
shit.
worries this about me is like, why the fuck are all of a sudden are they just like, oh yeah, here you go, there's aliens. Like, what do they do? Like, there's something going on to Chaz that we don't know about. I'm fucking getting this. I'm conspiracying now.
Yeah.
There's something happening in Chaz that we don't know about, and they're hiding it by they're just like, fuck it, give them aliens, and they're like, all right, give them aliens.
You know about like 3D, 2D, and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you get that. Like, you know, this is 2D. If we drew a person, if a person lived in this thing, it was flat. This is all they see. Now, 3D, you, what is it? You poke that through. If the person on the 2D in this world seen that, all they would see was this blip, right?
Yeah.
What if that's a 5D in our 3D realm that we're only able to perceive? That's one of the best things I've heard broke down by some fucking scientist dude. That's like, it could be other dimensions, a higher dimension beings breaking through, or just, you know, their means of travel, their means of transportation or something, and we're just perceiving that part of it, because they do say they have pretty much confirmed mathematically and with physics and everything that we have, the models we use. There's like 8 or 10 different dimensions that we know of or think or are pretty sure there is.
They're there.
Yeah. And we live in the 3D realm. And if there's that, they could be infinite universes infinite universes in like a certain amount of dimensions. And we could be just floating in this bubble of our galaxy and our planets and everything. It's just in this bubble that's got infinite other bubbles of universes in it, to where Elvis is still alive and
not stealing black music.
Yeah.
So he's just Elvis.
He's just some guy just some alcoholic pill addict and that talks about his old war days.
They didn't shoot me in the hip. That was gonna make me famous. And it's like, whatever, Grandpa. World War II ended like 80 years ago. How are you not dead?
Yeah.
We didn't do pills. That's how you stay alive. His daughter died pills. Oddly enough, flipped that way. Yeah. I would like to go to the alternate universe where I'm like slightly better, like just slightly better. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to meet the super successful me, because I'm like, give me pointers. I'm like, all right, see, fucking positive. Put your head to the grind and get to it.
Well, what happens if he tells you, oh, you had to start a long time ago, you're doomed?
That's what I would expect. I'm not
like I'll punch you in the face, Mike. Do you know who you're talking to?
Like, I get I'm doomed, but like, throw me a bone here. I want to meet the guy that's doing a little bit better than me. So he's like, oh yeah, just make your bed in the morning. And I'm like, cool, I can do that. And I can get there.
You'd be like, bitch, that's on a Jordan Peterson YouTube video.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it.
That's a military thing, or no? Who wrote that? Who said that?
That's where I got it. It was from my military ex-wife. She was like, first thing you do in the morning is a positive thing.
Yes,
so
you started off with that. Don't start your morning with having to already. They've learned that they believe that your will to say no, or the will to not do a bad habit is it's not. It's like in a Mortal Kombat game, your lifeline. You have that. It's not something that like throughout you pick and choose. No, you have the most after a night's rest or something. And actually, they think it's tied to your temperature, because you get a main cord temperature drop at a certain time, and when you usually are in your deepest realms of sleep. And it's like the reset of it. And if you can start your days off, like in your night, with making your mornings the easiest, smoothest, and avoid bad habits that way, it's a lot easier for you to be able to stick with the good habits by starting off with a good habit.
Yeah.
But you don't want to start off with a bunch. You don't want to make your bed, do all this other shit, because you're now thinking, you now had to put willpower into doing that, and you've already. But you want good habits, so you know that definitely that is psychologically something, and there is actual millions of dollars of studies that have been done on that kind of stuff.
Like I get jobs done faster if I write them out in a list and I cross them off as I go. That crossing off like serotonin you get. Where it's
That's
like,
what I tell Jules. That reward that you get. Look, like I got the same.
all day. It'll be shit. It'll just be like closed shower curtain.
I
Nailed it.
don't do it all like
if
that.
I don't have a lot and I just need some serotonin,
Yeah, see, I'll do that. Have
pet
you ever
Karen.
gone through, like, I found a notebook from like 2 years ago when I first, or probably 3 or 4 years ago when I first bought the house. I had this huge list of shit that I wanted to get done and just like knock it out. And I got a decent amount done before I like lost the notebook. I found it again. I look at the list and I took out the pen and was like, got that done, got that.
For this day.
Yeah. And then I got to a couple of things. I was like, fuck, I still haven't done that.
Wanted to cross them off just because if they're off the list, I don't got to do it.
No, I really got to build a retaining wall over by my garage.
I found I forgot I was doing this. At Millstream there was a couple people. Millstream's a big regular spot, so it's always regular. A lot of them found out I was a comedian, and I would just carry a book. I didn't carry a backpack with me at the time, and I'd go from upstairs to downstairs bar to just sit after I was off, and I'd leave my book where I was sitting a lot of times. And every now and again, if I'd walk away, one of them would pick it up and they'd start reading it. And there were these old heads, so I started every now and again. If I couldn't think of something to write, I would just write really fucked up suicide notes, just in case. Like and when I would get up, I'd leave it on that page. So if I like picked it up, they would just read these really fucking sad like. My fucking wife's dying, like I lost my mom to like a fucking cancer and shit, and this whole like this is my goodbye sitting here, like I'd make it about that moment, like sitting here next to this guy at Bell Street, I'm leaving now kind of thing.
Going upstairs to blow my head off.
It got
in
to
his
the point to
bathroom.
where like the bartender the lid, she pulled me aside, she's like, hilarious, fucked up though. She's like, because I read one, and it was like, don't fucking read my fucking book. And she's like, she's like, I read one because they brought it to my attention. And I was like, don't fucking read my fucking book. And she's like, what if that was a real suicide note? And I was like, again, don't read my fucking, if I put it in there, it's because I didn't want anybody to see it. Yeah. And she's like, so are you okay? And I was like, oh, here's all the other ones I do just to fuck with them. Like, I don't fucking. Just
I think I've actually got pretty good at it. I think I'm going to do a Fiverr,
dude,
freelance suicide notes.
There's a moment where I was going to write, because I have this fucking character online guy. He's not a character. He's just an extension of me, like the dirty extension of me. His name's Mikey Mudflaps. And I was going to write like essays, articles, stuff like Mark Twain did, and just make them shitty. But then I was like, what if I just wrote like what Mikey Mudflaps would think were beautiful suicide notes as a meth addict? And like I was just gonna write these really misspelled, like to my dearest, like fucking, like you were the hottest whore I've ever fucking seen, kind of thing.
You was the classiest bus stop skanko.
I never ate an asshole like yours. Like shit like
the
that.
prolapse made it real.
And then, like, and then it got, like,
I think I'm gonna name this one Prolapse Buttholes.
It started there. I wanted to do poems. I can't write poetry, but I thought it'd be funny. And then like the one I landed on is because I really like For Dummies books.
I've always wanted to do a badass deep poetry and go into the word up, and they think I'm gonna do comedy and just drop some bars. Yeah, like get some.
Yeah. Women today. And just do the one from fucking I Married an Axe Murder, where he's got the girl's picture up and he's just like that. It's a fucking Mike Myers. It's so weird. But now I want to write a fucking For Dummies meth, how to use meth and stay cool, and it's gonna be all inaccurate information.
Did you know the percentage? Like I think, all right, if let's say we're in a comedy club with like 100 people. Or you work somewhere. It was a much lower number because they used a office building, and like if you work with, there's 25 people in your office building, 3 of them are smoking meth during lunch.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know this because every time I get off stage, somebody comes up to me and they're like, "I know you said you quit your set, but do you want to get high?" And it's like, yeah,
absolutely. Didn't you hear the second joke? I do other drugs.
Yeah,
I've yet to have anyone come up to me and try to be like, yo, you want to do some blow or something?
It's never fun drugs. It's always drugs where it's like, I didn't even talk about that one. What the fuck,
yeah,
dude? Like, I don't want that. Get the fuck away from me.
I remember once I was driving. I met this girl, and she was a call girl pretty much. And I would just drive and sit in the parking lot and wait on her. She'd buy me a bag of weed, give me the tips that she made because she made a fat-ass hourly pay.
Turns out.
Yeah, they paid early. But... it was, she asked if I like doing blow. And like, I was like, yeah, because I met this girl through the other girl that I knew that was a friend of mine that was doing it. And I was like, she said, if I would drive her too certain nights. I was like, yeah, fine. If she doesn't need it, I'll drive you around. Drive her around. And she's like, you want to do blow? And she gets in the back and she like, I'm not paying attention. I'm driving to the next location. And she's like back there getting ready to shoot up cocaine. I'm like, whoa. I was like, I do cocaine.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm an American.
I thought it was heroin at first. I didn't know. She's like, I thought you said you do blow. I was like, yeah, up
Like
my nose. I blow. I don't know why they call it blow and it's sniff.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's a parking lot, not a driveway.
Blow, sniff, and gag. It should be the snap, crackle, and pop of drugs.
Dude, if you do cocaine and you're not gagging after doing it, just get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. Mark Maron says this. I don't trust anybody that didn't dedicate their life to the downward spiral of intense drug use. Like if somebody hasn't laid in bed and just like, not tonight, heart. Like I don't fucking want to fuck with you. And it's true. Like there's people.
If you've never been to that deep place,
like there's people like it's
within
always,
this past week.
yeah. If you're not looking at me right now, just like stop talking so I could talk. Like I don't fucking care. But like I've met people that they find out I was a drug addict, and all of a sudden they like completely change their demeanor of who they are towards me, and it's like I'm not. Well, I'm not still.
I got kicked out of wedding. My wife's best friend, growing up her whole life as little kids, got married to these people called the O'Shaughnessy's or the O'Shaughnessy's,
That's how you
as I
want to
call
fucking
them.
stay away from the O'Shaughnessy's.
Yeah, they're like these financial advisors or whatever, for like Anheuser and all this other shit, millionaires. But they get on and. My wife being the maid of honor and everything, we get sat at the main table. I had to buy suits and all this other shit to go all to these country clubs, these wedding things, because she's the maid of honor. Whatever, I did it all. I was doing my own little thing too, on the side on the construction end of things, and I did a job, and I had gotten like Cash App the money or whatever, and one of the guys that helped me out through the week was wondering about when he could get his money. I was like, I paying you this much and I'll have it when I get back to the house. We can meet up. And I was out on the deck talking about it. Well, they said I was making drug deals at this club. They pulled a background check on me that I couldn't even find. They pulled shit that I've never seen, and I've seen all of my court documents. I've had them pulled them plenty of time, and this was like some of the deepest shit, like shit from when I was a child.
Sketch.
Like when I wasn't in trouble, it was like childhood craziness.
Yeah.
And she like comes and picks my wife up. They were supposed to, because every Wednesday they did like Mexican Wednesday or some shit. They would go get Mexican food, and that was their date night, the bitch night or whatever we called it. And
Classic.
Yeah. And she drives like 2 or 3 blocks and then pulls over and pulls out this folder with this file, and she's like, saying basically kicking me out of the wedding and saying no one feels safe with him. Their family and the kids and all this other shit. And it's just like a thick file. And yeah, they also got to understand there was like fucking 20 possession of marijuana misdemeanor charges on there.
That's wildly inappropriate and wildly against somebody's fucking.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get that?
I don't know. And it shows that like I have no violent crimes on my record. Every violent crime I've committed, I've been able to lawyer it up and get it down to where it's a non-violent offense misdemeanor. I've lucked out, but I've spent the money. That's the thing. If you want to play the game, you better have the money. That's the first thing you put aside.
Hey, buddy.
Lawyer fees.
Like the fucking company you financially advised has led to the death of far more people than I ever have. Like,
Right.
The fuck.
No, that these people, man, they did that, and then like. And I know it was all because of the way I looked, and it was not going to look good for these rich, fancy, uppity motherfuckers that thought they were better than everybody. Yeah. And at first I was pretty pissed just because of what they were doing to my wife and her best friend, and this whole thing played out, and it was like I had just couldn't really do nothing. It's her best friend, so I'm like, no, you're doing the wedding. Yeah. You're not dropping out of the wedding. I made that because we weren't married yet, and we were only like 2 or 3 years in together, and I was like, you're not dropping out of the wedding. Like if we don't work out, you'll regret not being there. Yeah. I'll be this big piece of shit. I'll never be. You're doing the wedding. So my buddy Griever, which is a brain fucking surgeon at Wash U, that like he teaches Japanese motherfuckers He teaches. They fly him
That's
around
when I
the
get that
world.
fucking
The dude's got sleeved up tattoos, long hair like yours, much curlier and shit. And like he's the was like I think Rise Against or Say Anything and a bunch of other stuff from out here. A couple bands from out here, and went with him to Seattle, did his schooling and stuff out there, and came back out here. We got a job offer at WashU and came out here just the past couple of years. Has recently had a kid. One of the smartest people I know, but
teaching Japanese kids. That's,
yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
you
what I
don't
get
expect
the-
it. He's
yeah.
doing these brain surgeries with these laser machine, high tech, state of the art brain things, and you don't notice it when he's probably doing surgery or as a doctor with his, with a scrubs and everything on. You go into his office and he's got his scrubs rolled up and he's got fucking tattoos. I think he's got like a Michael Jackson tattoo on one arm.
Jazzy as fuck.
Dude, yeah, he's like. He's not. If he's hipster, he's the coolest hipster. He's like, it's hipster, but he's past the douchey hipster shit. You know, the guy that was like the OG hipster that was just like, this was just the thing I was into.
Why you got so many bracelets on, dog?
No, he's not that guy. He like did he was I think he went to Vianney or CBC or one of those schools and was a hockey player.
I hate him.
Yeah.
That was our rival.
Coolest dude ever. He's not that guy. But yes, he like when he was living in Seattle and would come visit here, he stayed at in Wildwood at like a guest house or something.
Of course he did.
You know,
Yeah.
That's the people he knows though. And it's
He's
his
staying at a
friends.
guest house.
That's
Homie,
his
that's a
friends. But he
house.
worked hard to
Yeah.
get
I mean,
everything
he'll
he's
become a
got.
brain surgeon.
I've seen his shit. He had like one class, like molecular biological sciences, 104%. I'm like, how do you even get that?
Oh, dude. Where did the 4% come
Yeah,
from?
man.
Where
Did you kill a midget?
Like, yeah. Is it a medical thing? Did you grow the 4%? I like working in restaurants. I worked with a lot of people that were going to school, and it was always wild that you'd meet somebody who's like, "I'm a business major," and somebody would be like, "I'm a theater major," and somebody was like, I'm going to school to become an astronaut," and it's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, I'm about to do it, and then I leave for space next week, and it's like, oh,
Yo, the craziest shit I've seen talking about like. I watched TikTok today, and that's a rabbit hole that's like another rabbit hole thing. It's because it's not like Reddit, I guess, and all these other things that you have to read, and like 4chan, and you have to read all these things. It's minute clips sped up of information of conspiracies, just like hitting you with information, bam, 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 just information of like crazy little bits and pieces of conspiracies.
Putin's a robot. Bow.
But there was this one, and it was like TikTok science or something like that. And this guy's like got all kinds of videos of him supposedly making new breeds of animal. He made a Pikachu. He's like, I wanted to make a Pikachu, so I got an electric eel, and I took our pet white albino squirrel, and I took the blah 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 embryos or whatever, genetically spliced them, and created this electrically charged furry little Pikachu looking thing.
Dog, that's a cat with yellow paint on it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It looked fucking crazy.
Cool.
And I'm like, if they didn't, this is the best editing. This is why conspiracies are so good.
You know what?
Because they're so fucking. How did they do that?
There's something I saw the other day. The article was pointing out how terrifying it is, and it's this like deep fake, and it looks like Tom fucking Cruise, and he's like in a kitchen, like an industrial, like doing dishes, and he's talking about something. It looks like that's him, and it's like a deep fake that somebody makes, and it's like, dude, if you can do that with him, you can do that with presidents of the United States.
That's
You
why
can do that
there was an app that they were going to release and some software they were going to sell, and they actually shut it down because they were catching a bunch of backlash. I think it was like a Vice or a Vox documentary, one of those documentaries that were talking about it. Yeah, and they showed it. They did it with Obama. Yeah, because it was right around then when they were working on it, and they did it with like Obama and Tiger Woods or somebody and some other people. And yeah, no, definitely crazy. You can. Yeah, you frame anybody for anything that way.
We used to do when I first got on Discord, I was still.
But they supposedly have an algorithm that can catch it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
When I first started off on Discord, I was still using meth, and like I'm in a bunch of those servers still, because they're fucking Wild West, man. That's fucking crazy there. But the main one I was on, they're like. The first iteration I was on there was like 2 years, and shit got wild. Like Reddit or Discord was new. There's a lot of shit you can do with Discord, And
Yeah, they weren't stealing money from the financial industry yet, so nobody paid attention.
yeah,
to
nobody
it.
was and like the shit you could do with like bots and stuff, and like it brought a lot of programmer type people to.
I tried to get into it. I
It's a
tried
lot of
like a
fun.
year ago. I learned what Discord was, and I was like, "What are these bot things?" And then I looked into that. I was like, "So you can make your own bots." I don't even have a computer that
You can
works.
do whatever. Like the one I have for Hey Dude, listen to this, which is just the music. I'm not on it anymore, but it's like I built the server. It's got a lot of users, but I don't. It's mostly EDM users, which kind of went against what I wanted. I told them any kind of music, so I let my moderators run it, and I check it every now and again. But my bot, all it does is whenever you join the server, it tags you in the welcome messenger, and it's a Taylor Swift bot, and it gives you some shitty fucking Taylor Swift quote. And then it tells you to go read the rules, and then you go to the rules channel, and in the rules channel there's a react, and it gives you a role of whatever music genre you like, and that opens up the rest of the the rest of the channels that you can see, and whatever genre you pick, the first genre you pick, it opens up that chat rooms for that specific genre. If you want to use them, you can. Nobody uses them, but then like I have YouTube channels, like you can show YouTube videos. We have a competition where it's like first person to post a 5 list. Playlist from Spotify will give a certain amount of tokens, and you can use the tokens to gamble. Doesn't mean any shit. And it took me like 2-3 months to build the whole bot because I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of kept watching YouTube videos. And
Did you have to actually code the bots?
Mm-hmm. It was more like setting variables and like your fucking. So I have a GitHub. So like the welcome whenever you join the fucking thing, that's its own folder. And it's got its own code in there. And so like whenever you join, you have a token. And your token is what connects you to your bot through the API. And that can't, like, if anybody gets a hold of your token, they can do whatever the fuck they want with your bot. And if they get a hold of your bot and it's an admin on your, which it would be because it's your bot on your server, say you have like a 1,500 person server, that's their server now. They have the admin fucking role. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And people will fucking fuck servers up. And like a lot of them, like the servers, like the meth server I am on, has been around for so long, and it goes under harm reduction, that there is sections of harm reduction where there are certified people specifically there to handle that situation. And there's a lot of fucking solid resources in there for harm reduction. And I like the last time it happened was like 3 years ago. They got raided. Like people just started spamming their fucking invite and blowing up coming into the welcome channel, and like the bot flipped out because they figured out it's a community bot. Somebody else coded it, but you can host it yourself and do whatever you want with it. So they got all the privileges, and they just like within 2 minutes, they were at 2,200 people at that time. Years of fucking chat history, years of fucking, multiple friends that I know died. Their fucking chat history's gone. And it's just like that. And the kid that built it, he was just like, what just happened? And it was just me, because I was one of the mods. I was the head mod. He was the admin, and then a mod underneath me. We're the only 3 left, and we were left into a fucking voice channel. And then somebody else came in, and we don't know who it was, but they started talking to us and just like talking shit. So it was obviously them. And it was just like, and he was like, yo, what the fuck? Why? And he was like, because you're fucking Mikey Budfly. I kicked him. He's like, he kicked me. And he's like, he didn't ban you. He kicked you. He's like, you could have came back literally right away. And he's like, yeah, but I don't get fucking disrespected like that. And he was just like, you fucking piece of shit. And so luckily we're not idiots. So we grabbed his token, sent all the information they needed to Discord, and he got IP banned. Like there's no way he can get on Discord from any fucking computer in his house ever again. If he goes somewhere else, he's fine, but he's got to move to get on Discord.
He can't switch his IP? He can't use
if he used a VPN, yeah, you can get around it.
Is that what you guys would be using anyways? All those
I always do. I did. I have like the 2F authorization. Like I sign in, and I have to get a code from my phone to sign in all the way. Because I've been, the first 2 years when I was talking about it was crazy. I got swatted twice. It didn't work, but the kid tried to. Multiple times people got into my account. Somebody got into my old PayPal that had nothing in there because it was an old one. But he got in there, and I didn't find out until way later because I never went in there. He never told me, and I found out later on. The craziest, though, was this kid named Cersei. And this is the weirdest. It literally gets to the point to where I'm contemplating flying to the United Kingdom to find this guy and hurt him like physically. Like it was to the point where I was looking at I was like, I could get the flight. I had the money and I was like contemplating it. Like I was like, I mean, and I'd take a vacation. I mean, it wasn't that great, but it was like the whole purpose was I knew where he lived. I knew what fucking apartment he was in. I knew his fucking landlord's phone number. I knew his mom's phone number. This kid. So what happened? So what happened is Discord's weird. It's built on, you build a server and then you're an admin. You have control of everything. You can add mods. They could do a couple things around that, like ban people or mute people or whatever, or clean up messages. And then there's roles that give you for other users for specific shit, like whatever. And that becomes very important to people for some reason. And so that was already happening, like that tension in there and high and dry was there since day one. There was always that like, well, you're not a fucking mod. And it's like, we're just telling you to read the rules and I am a mod kind of thing. It's like they would just, it was weird. And you could apply to be a mod because it got big. And so it was fucking weird. And then this, I think it was called like the kitchen or the fucking something around restaurant work, but it was an alcoholic server. They asked to join our server, like combine the friends, because they wanted to. They were from a subreddit as well, but under the same name. We were under the STEM subreddit. So they come in, they were like, "You're harm reduction. Can we join?" And we were like, "Well, we're not necessarily all harm reduction, so it is a lot of meth use. Like, we don't care what you do. Like, just don't shit on meth users. We're not gonna shit on alcohol users." And that's where I met the man, somebody who I will remember for the rest of my fucking life. His name was Cersei. His screen name was Cersei. And he's this fat, fucking bald, British guy. When he first talked to me, he sounded like I talked to him in voice for the first time because we built the friendship. He was just a weird dude that drank Four Loko and he would get like funny, emotional drunk and he would sing, he wouldn't sing, he would just type and chat and spam, like fucking... He would go from Five Finger Death Punch to like a Mariah Carey song. And it was hilarious. And he was just drunk and emotional. So I liked him. And we built this friendship. And he's all the while is getting into fights with the owner of the server I'm from. Just getting in like brutal fights. Like he's finding out shit about his online past, that like deep dives and like calling it out and shit. Like coming with receipts. Like he went and found this shit. I don't know how. Nobody knows. I've been on that server for so many years and I've made like personal friends. I know their first and last name. Like I've talked to that guy. I don't know his name. He's that like very private. And that guy deep dove, found all this fucking shit on him and like came with receipts and shit. And so like, I was like, all right, this guy's fucking weird, but whatever. He's not fucking with me. I can't remember what happened. Something along the lines of he did something wild. Like I think he accused him of child porn, which is like, the last, like a no. Like if you do that, like you have to have fucking absolute proof. If you say some shit like that online and you don't have proof, you're gonna get fucking tar and feathered. It's like calling somebody racist now. And somebody was talking about it in chat later, and somebody asked, like, what do you think about it? And I was like, he's an idiot. He was just drunk, and he was drunk when he read that, and it pissed him off. So he goes on a deep dive after me. And I had made the mistake in one of our group chats saying my name. Like somebody was like, "Who's Mikey?" And I knew them, and I was like, "It's me, Mike, blah blah blah, or Mike Ratcliff." I need to hide my name here. I can dox myself here. Mm-hmm. And so he saw that, and he found my Facebook. He found all this shit. He found all this information about me, and then just brought it to chat and just blasted me. Like, I mean, shit that like I still like fucks me up. Like, not that he did, but like shit that, like the stuff he's talking about is stuff that was so, like, it was shitty things I did. And like, the reason I won't do a roast, because it's very easy to find. And,
well, let's put it out there. Let's find it.
So like he finds all this information and he starts posting pictures of the specific things, like, kids. He starts posting these pictures in a meth server. And like they're automatically getting deleted. Like he's gotten. I set the bot to like, it was like if he posted more than 3 messages in a row, it counted as spam and it would start mass deleting. Because if he started going that quick, he was gonna start saying shit. Before he was even on his second message, the owner of the thing, he did change it. He's like, just delete anything he says. And I was watching as my kid's photo would pop up, it would delete. Kid's photo would pop, and he just kept posting it for 30 fucking minutes. And I'm in his direct messages like, you need to fucking stop. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And while he's doing this, coming to me and just like, ha 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 ha, who the fuck do you think you're messing with? And I'm like, dude, this is the fucking internet. What the fuck is happening? Like, and so I'm methed out as well this whole time. And I'm going nuts. And so I'm up for like 3 days finding out everything I can find out about him. I found out his address. I found out his apartment. I didn't know the number or anything, but I found out that the last tenants that lived there. I knew his fucking landlord's fucking number. And like at first I was like, I'm just going to fucking call his landlord. He started using meth at this point because he was just in the server all the time. Why not? And I was just going to call his landlord and be like, yo, I just sold a bag of meth to the homeboy. Fucking, this is his name. There you go. But then I was like, nah, fuck this guy. Like, I wanted, like, it was just like, I was going to hack. I was like, I'm going to fucking hack him. I'm going to get banned from this site forever, but I'm going to fucking hack this guy's account. He's an idiot. He didn't have all that shit and he didn't know anything about computers. I don't know how to hack people, but I know how to Google how to. And that's all you have to do. Then it got to this point where he sends a mutual friend to my direct message. He's like, hey man, this shit's wild. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I'm talking to Cersei right now. And it was like, you could tell him, he should kill. He was always talking about killing himself. And I was like, he should kill himself. And his mother would be much happy, like just as much vile shit as I could say. And he's like, well, no. He wants to fucking apologize. And I was like, bet. No, he doesn't. I was like, you know him just as much as I know him. You've seen him. He's a fucking wild man. Like that. You know what he's doing. He's fucking with me. He's like, no, he's not fucking with me. He's not fucking with you. I was like, all right, tell him to come apologize. He comes in, he starts apologizing, but he gives like this really slight, just enough backhand, fucking like, you know, like you pushed me kind of thing. And I was like, you fat motherfucker. And then he just goes on this thing and I'm fucking, harassing him. I'm stalking him because he had proof that I did the same thing to him that I did to him, but he deleted all the shit he did to me on the servers. So all my shit he had screenshots of, I was dumb. I didn't screenshot those. So he starts taking that to the server. That Mikey needs to fucking leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And so like, I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to go there was 2 servers I was in that were both basically the same members for some reason, same servers kind of. And so I was just like, I'll just go fuck in this one where he's not, like, none of the alcoholics are there, whatever. And so I'm sitting there and I find out that he's on that rampage there looking for me because I just left that server. Then he decides to start his server and so the kid he sent after me, like, tried to set me up. He got to that kid. This is fucking insane. He got to this kid to come fuck with me to get to me. And I'm like biting every chance I get. Like, he's getting to me. He starts a server of his own and just gets these minions to come follow him. And then he gets his fucking invite code and he puts it on the subreddit that he's from and just takes over their old fucking Discord slot. Like, his invite went there. So he just automatically gets piled on with all these fucking new users. And he's using meth, so he's in psychosis because he's at this point, he had been awake for however many days because he's never used it. He's using it with us who are pretty seasoned meth users at this point. And so he's definitely in psychosis. He starts thinking this is going over about 3 weeks. He starts thinking have alts, accounts, which is another thing people do. They just create alts and they go and spy on channels. Or like, it's weird. And, I was finding out, like, this was going on for a while. I didn't know this. I was finding out because people would leave that server, find out about ours, come to our server. They would see my name or something, or I would be in chat and they'd walk in and be like, yo, are you Mikey Mudflaps? Like, Cersei's Mikey Mudflaps? And it was like, what the fuck do you know about Cersei? And like, he kicked me out of his fucking server because he was claiming I was somebody named Mikey Mudflaps. And like, he would bring them in from their welcome channel. He would bring them into their general channel and he would fucking just like berate them. And they couldn't go anywhere because they couldn't go to any other channel. So, I mean, they didn't have to look at it or whatever. They could just close it. But it's like, while that's happening. And he would just, because he thought it was me with all these alts. And he was already convinced I had like 30 of them in there. I don't know why I thought I had so many fucking email addresses. Not once did I ever have a fucking alt in this thing. So finally, I calm down off this thing. I get sleep. I eat. I talk to everybody that I know. And they're like, no, none of us ever fucking bought anything he said. Like, we all know he's insane. Like, you're good. Like you let them get to you, and you fucking zoned in on it. Like you fucking just cool down. So I cool down off this shit for a while, and like I almost forget about them because I was kind of getting away from the server anyways. I was doing other shit, and out of nowhere someday I get a fucking two like quick back to back messages, and like if I would get messages here and there because I was a mod or an admin or at the time, but when it was like two, it usually was something like it was usually like somebody's ODing and on a like video chat that I need to go deal with, or like somebody died, like some shit like that would happen. It was fucking awful, but it was somebody like two different people were like Cersei's in the fucking new server, and I was like, oh. I was at first I was like, it's somebody just using his name. It's because you can change your name to whatever you want. It doesn't, and I was like, somebody fucking using his name, whatever. And so I kind of like watching chat. I'm not saying anything. I'm watching him interact with the other mods because the other mods are like, just get the fuck out of here, you fat piece. Like nobody wants you, and like they start going back and forth, and I could tell immediately by the way he's talking that it's him because he was like the Joker. Like he tried to be the Joker. He would like all caps laugh at like weird ties. And then finally started tagging me like he knew I was watching. And it was like, oh, fucking, I'm biting again. And I was like, I went to the chat. I was like, look, man, I don't, what? And he's like, you need to get your alts out of my server. And I was like, I'll get all of them out of your server by tonight. And he was like, it kind of went on a rampage about me having alts and like trying to make an example of me in this group and like everybody is constantly just like, can you stop talking? Like we're talking, you're saying nonsense. And he just kept going and going. Finally, I kicked him and didn't hear from him. Whatever. I get off of Discord, come back, hang out for a couple months. I get off Discord again. It's like a year later. I'm sitting there. I get a fucking friend request from BoJack Horseman. I've never seen that screen name before in my life. And I was like, I'm not an admin or a mod at this point, so it is not my obligation to fucking accept friends. I'm just there to hang out. I don't work there, but for some reason I was like, I like the show, and so it was like Mikey, and I was like, I don't like that. Yeah. Like I don't know who the fuck this is, and it was like yes, and it's like, do you know who this is? And it was like, I don't, and it's like, it's Cersei. Can we talk? And I was like, just immediately unfriended. Like you can't send messages to people. And I was like, no. I'm just here smoking weed, and he fucking sends me another friend request, and I don't know why he accepted it. He's just like, please, can we talk? And I was like, all right. And he's like, I just need to fucking tell you how fucking sorry I am. And I was like, you've done this shit before. I was like, you think I was an idiot. Yeah. But if you think I'm this dumb, I was like, buddy. But he's like, no. He's like, here's the thing. My mom fucking died. And I was like, good. And he was like, I know, I deserve that. And then was like, oh shit, maybe he really is apologizing. And I just said, good, his mom died. Like, fuck. And he was really apologizing at this point. He really was apologizing at this point. But I put him through pretty much abuse from there on. Like, from that point, it was pretty, like, he would, like, yeah, she, I had to watch. And it was like, good. Like, you deserved that. Like, you fucking wrecked my life for 3 weeks. But, like, you fucking fucked me up. I was on hardcore drugs and, like, teetering psychosis here and there. Like you could do some fucking damage lightweight. Like not cool. And the kid that he fucking brainwashed to this day probably, but the last time I talked to him, he was still like, you're fucking insane. You were stalking him. And it was like, you still believe that he's publicly, I made him like he publicly went to every server we'd ever been in together. I don't care if I hadn't been there in years and nobody there knew us. I was like, you're going to go into every server. You're going to tell them you lied. You're going to tell them what you lied about. You're going to apologize to me. You're going to apologize to the fucking server. I was like, and I was like, and honestly, I don't think you should be in any of the servers that I have pull in. I was like, the ones that I don't care. I was like, but the ones that I do, they're the active ones. And I don't want you fucking in there. And he was like, I fucking know. And
are these things like that popular? Like people living their lives on these things?
It gets very addictive. Cause I was using meth and I wasn't doing anything. So that's where I was spending my communication. And like, and that
I can't do speed and shit without doing something. Like the reason I do speed is to get something done. If I'm gonna do speed, it's gonna be because I got a lot of shit to get done.
Well, see, like
when I was doing construction, definitely.
I'd say a lot of times I would have my Discord on, and anytime I was absolutely needed, if I wasn't chatting, I would get a noise notification. So I would be doing, if I was fucking with a bot, or if I was like even just writing something, or I would be fucking around on my computer the whole time. But like now, I don't know if I can't say it's probably like that for everybody. It's addictive for everybody because now that I'm not using meth.
Yeah.
When I'm very, I don't even use it as much as Facebook. I go on, I say hi to the people I like. Chat is fun. They are good. Like it's a fun group of people because they are nice. They're people like me that didn't want to hang out with meth users, but they didn't want to not use. So they didn't want to use meth alone.
They wanted to have something in common that they could. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've done drugs.
And so you find this. Yeah, you find these like nerdy fucking like a lot of them are too smart for their own good. Like I said, I've been fucking swatted.
Yeah, I know. They say a lot of people that do drugs, they've all got some kind of horrible trauma that they're trying to escape and some problems. And that was a big issue I had for a long time with like doing drugs and stuff because I would always think about, I was like, what's my excuse? What's my drama? What's my pain that I'm trying to escape? I'm just enjoying getting fucked up. Like I just enjoy getting fucking 2 days worth of work done in a day. Like
Yeah, I mean, like, so the way, like, harm reduction, this is what I liked, because AA, the whole fucking higher power thing is my thing. And harm reduction, what they would do is they really focus in on, like, we're going to get to a point to where you're using safely. We want to wean you off. We're not going to tell you, we're not, and in fact, they very rarely right off the bat are, like, even hinting at quitting. It's, okay, you're using excessively. You can't do that. This is how you're going to use. Okay, now that we got that under control, like then they'll fucking really go in and they'll deep dive like why are you using? And like I don't think it's major trauma. I don't think it's anything. I think it could be anything.
I think it's boredom is one.
Boredom is the one thing. I think any mental health issue, any slight mental health issue that goes untreated you're gonna find a way.
I don't see myself having one. And therefore when I was getting prescribed Vyvances, I was getting fucked up there for a while because I was also getting them from a guy that I worked with that was getting the same thing, and I was like getting double the prescription and getting through them before they refilled them, and it was like fuck, and I was just on them.
See, I live in a constant state of like tense anxiety, like it's pretty consistent, I would say.
And what, you feel like you're walking on eggshells at all times?
At all fucking times, like it's fucking cool. I didn't know it was a thing. Like I just thought people were meant to be stressed and then die of a heart attack at like 26. And then like, I think it was like high school. My mom was just like not maybe middle school. It was because I was younger and she was just like, you're always fucking tense. And I was just like, yeah. And she's like, why? And it was like, are you not? And she's like, no, I'm good, man. What's up? And it was like, nothing. It's like, you're tense. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, something could pop off. I don't know how I was talking about it. She's just like, you're not supposed to feel that way. Like, and I was like, that's my home base. Like, my home base is at any moment. I don't know what could even go bad. I couldn't even give you an example of what could go bad at any moment. I'm just constantly fucking weirdly nervous. And then I told them all that, and the doctor was just like, so you're depressed? And it was like, I don't think so. And he's like, oh, okay, it must be ADHD, and that's what's causing the depression. And I was like, what file do you have? I was like, what file? Because I don't think I did. I mean, I would say I do now, but I blame the internet and how that's all fucking, how you read the internet's all bulletin, so you just need, like, I can't read anything that's not bulletin out anymore. It's fucking impossible.
What is that? Your serotonin, dopamine dump system when you find something super good to read?
Not just like how everything on the internet is just sectioned off real quick. You get the information really quick, no matter how you read it.
Yeah,
so
we're
like
being
whenever you
fed
go to
information faster than any other time in human history that we know of, and it's just there is a cracking point because it's just faster and faster. 5G, 6G, 7G. It's gonna get to a point to where we're already to the point to where the speed that we're able to consume technology and the amount compared to the amount of technology that is being uploaded and put out there, because there's more every year there's a new study, foundation, experiments researchers doing paper. That's information technology being enhanced and studied, and it's just constantly being uploaded, and we're constantly downloading it pretty much in our heads.
So,
And we're just not. There's a cracking point eventually.
Like, and I mean, I used to fucking, I would read constantly, and now, like, if I go to read, I'll go. So I loved Lord of the Rings books growing up. If I go and even try and open up the Fellowship, like, I'll get to the end of the first chapter, and I'll be like, I don't remember reading 99% of those pages. Like, I'll just like I'll be skimming them and reading them, and then in my head I'm just like the Sports Center song will be going on for some reason. Like, it's like, what? Like,
if I take my Vyvanse, if I get my prescription for Adderall or Vyvanse, I can read it one time, remember it, comprehend it, be fine. And it's just like, but if I'm sober, like, especially if I'm not smoking weed, I can read that page 10 times and not tell you what the first sentence or the last sentence said.
Yep. And it wasn't always like that. But like, if I'm writing something, I'm fucking.
If it interests me now, if I read the first sentence and it grabs my attention,
it takes a lot.
And it's something that I'm interested in, then I get ADHD, and they do TED Talks and all different kinds of presentations about this ADHD, ADD people. We have this hyper focused dopamine dump basically, and it's like we just focus in on something. When we get interested in something, we can get hyper, and they were just talking about how that can be used in the corporate industry as far as certain industries that we have interest in. Like, let's say you have someone that's got ADHD real bad, but they're into finances, and they have this one part of finances they just understand and they get.
Yeah.
You put them at that task, and you just let them fucking hyper fucking focus on that.
Rain Man, that shit.
Yes, but eventually you'll get to like me when you hear me start talking about weed or something like that, and it's just like
the good old days.
It's just fucking boom, boom, just information, and it just leads me to the next piece of information. Boom, and just nonstop. I'll just talk about it for hours, or anything that interests me. That because I'll fall down into this long, this like bend. It's like almost a bender where I'm like out there just on information almost.
And it seems like I have similar, I would say, tendencies, but the difference is you go on binges of this stuff, like how to, like, I don't know, refinance your house or something. And it's like, I'm like, how many times did they make inappropriate dick jokes in The Simpsons? Like, why? How much did Pauly Shore make for the movie fucking Step Brother?
I never really used it. That's a big thing. I have the knowledge, and I guess, maybe I get put in that position too. But yeah, when it comes to a lot of things, I don't know why I pay attention so much to financial, economic issues as far as like the markets and shit. It's so nerdy. It's so not me as a person that when you look at me, but it just interests me sometimes. It's like, that's it's interesting to watch it, to see it, and to know like it's this huge game, and there is a trick, and if you can just figure out that trick and unlock it, and the only way you're ever going to figure out that trick and unlock that secret is just by constantly paying attention. And I understand that for a lot of people it's completely boring. Most people that actually trade stocks and invest, like the people that you're seeing right now that are just interested in this one thing, they're not interested in learning. They're not reading. They're not taking no classes. Like, you can ask Jules. I've dragged her to all different kinds of like
seminars
and I used to get a lot of free shit. You like free like smart pads, Kindles and shit like that. They give it to you for if you signed up.
I want a Kindle because I feel like that could get me back into, like, if I could, the book thing now for some reason.
I've got one.
I read a lot.
Her mom gave me one recently.
I read a lot on my phone. Like, when I am reading, I'm usually reading something on my phone. Cause
I wish everything could just be read to me. I wish I could just be like, Siri, read this.
Dude, if fucking the guy, the guy who played Saruman, if he could read every book to me, yep.
Who?
The guy who played Saruman. I can't remember his name. Old bald.
I'm cool. I like Graham Hancock, and I like. There's this one YouTube channel. This guy is like, his voice, dude, is just Like, it's so amazing. I just wish they would put more You ever get something to where you're like, I don't even care what you're talking
No,
about, just talk
give it
about
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
There's okay, so it fits what I like, but there's this guy. He's like the White Feather or something. His nickname. He's got like the world's longest sniper kill, and he's from Vietnam, and he was this badass sniper. And it's like this one interview I found with him, and he's this like weird, not weird, but guy who's killed multiple people confirmed kind of thing, country guy. And like their interview with he says, he's like, oh, you're not shot, but they killed the devil out of your water can, like shit like that. And the way he talks and his cadence, it's like, oh my God, you put me to sleep with your stories of murder. Like, and they talk to him for an hour, and he's fucking, and there's like, I don't know what it is. Guys who fought in Vietnam, every single video I watch where they recount their shit, like, it's like, I want to hear you tell stories. My uncle's like, he didn't fight in Vietnam, but my uncle's like, he's the most captivating storyteller I've ever met, and he'll tell. I think he only knows 3 stories, and I've heard him my whole life. And every time I'm like on the edge of my seat, like, is this real or not? And then you find out it's a street joke that he has just stretched over the years to be this story he's made into his own. And it's sometimes I nerd out on it a bit, where it's like, dude, I'm wanting like the pauses are perfect, like the way he pauses and shit, like it's interesting. What the fuck was this?
It's some fucking ancient astronaut bullshit that one of the channels, but he's got like 4-hour-long videos, and it's just like crazy ancient conspiracies of Zachariah Sitchin. And
You just hear a robot talking all night.
that's not a robot. It's this dude.
It just sounds like a robot.
Where's the good? One of my favorites. One that I dove down this rabbit hole years ago. That was really fun. It's really interesting and cool. The whole Anunnaki, Mesopotamia, Zachariah Sitchin theory, which I think has been debunked, but there's others out there that have it. Actually, Quentin Wilbert studied it in college, ancient religions and stuff with it.
Yeah, see, the last thing I binged, I could tell you why Quentin Tarantino uses certain colors in certain areas. Like, it's stupid, pointless shit.
Yeah, see, some of my, I don't know, I got a lot of
I've also
there it is, Ask the Industry podcast. See, this is like all these different comedians and show comedy, different shows like you were talking about. These are the people that have put them together, festivals and all different kinds of stuff, their interviews, and different comedians. Like, there he is, Milton Jones. That's a one-liner does some of those shows you were just talking about. But he talks about doing those shows, a lot of those shows.
There's I was watching one specific one called Mock of the Day or Mock of the Week or something like that. And it's basically just riffing one-liners, kind of. And I mean, when it started off in 2000s, there was 2 specific comics. They have teams, and it's like, it started off with the host and one guy was the team guy on this side and the other guy, and the same comics each time, and they were brutal. Like, they were just murdering with one-liners. And like the host is even, I was reading an article where he's like, there was points where there were times in that period where like I wanted to quit because I felt more like a referee, because it's like they were so quick to go. It was competitive. These 2 guys wanted to beat each other every week, and so it was like these 2 like fucking very good one-liner comics going at it each week. And he's like, now it's what I like about it now. It's like it's more conversational. It's very more, nobody really cares if they're winning. And James Acaster's on there a lot, and I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And like both were fun. I don't really I'm competitive as fuck. So like when things turn into competitive shit, the fun goes out the window, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, no, fun comes when you win. But like with something like that, I don't think I would get anything out of being competitive as I would like it being in an open forum like that. And like they're not as angry at each other either.
Cancel rent now.
But there's the concepts are so fucking they're so cool because you read them and like that would never happen here. Like one of them's like like forget the Buzzcocks, and it's just a punk rock trivia show with comics. It's like what? Or like, and like one's like
you find all kinds of crazy different shows. Speaking of shows, we'll get up. We'll wrap this. I know we're getting into some hours. I don't even know what time it is. But you got something coming up, don't you? A few things, don't you?
yeah. So I'm filming a porn tomorrow. I don't know what that's gonna be called. I will post something. I don't know
When it's on the hub.
Yeah, and it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up.
Oh, it's gonna be the first video on CC, right?
It sure is. If not, it's gonna be my
your
porno.
facial expression doing it.
Just me licking my lips for 30 minutes. Like, just, God,
That
dude,
butthole
what?
is
Yeah.
prolapsed.
That's prolapsed anus.
This is a prolapsed anus right there.
Oh, God. Oh, God. And then I got, oh, God, what the fuck? I'm going to Indiana, into Evansville, Indiana. I will be at the
Foolish Comedy Productions with Josh Turley.
Yeah, Josh Turley. Sorry, Josh. I've been drinking and smoking a little tonight. I will be there the 19th for a comedy competition, which I hope to take the W. But you never know. The fucking strong comedy coming out of the old Evansville. And then after that, do I have any other shows coming up?
We do. We're gonna be putting on the end of the month.
Oh, what a grand announcement!
Yeah, we're gonna finally back. Gonna try this whole thing at Bobby's again. Bobby's Place, Valley Park. It's in the same plaza that the old Funny Bone used to be in. That was there, or the second one that they had for a while. It's going to be
beers, girls,
and comedy.
Me and Brad,
Well, we've got on the lineup, on the list for this first show. The list is already filled up on people that we're gonna, use. But the whole point of these shows that I'm putting on is going to hopefully be bi-weekly, and it's going to be shorter list, more time for comedians that can do the time. Nothing against the new guys. It's just
we don't want to see your comedy.
Yeah, no, it's just 5 minutes. I feel people need some more time sometimes to work on some other stuff, and it's hard to really get to it.
Too many times.
Times. But we got we'll have John Maddie.
Yep.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Corey Stewart.
Yeah, you are.
Alex Blodgett.
There he is.
Mike Ratcliff.
Hey.
Mary Jane.
What?
Matt Barnes.
Look at him go.
And Kyle Fields is going to close it out.
That's a lineup you don't think about. You just reach out, get your tickets, call your mom, take your mom. It's close to Mother's Day, I think.
You can RSVP a seat and chair. The venue is going to be set up. There will be
refreshments.
There'll be the food is amazing. The drinks are amazing. They're decent priced.
Bobby Plager himself is going to be there.
There's going to be tables and chairs, but there's limited tables. So there is a place that you can RSVP a table for $10. I think there's about 40 spots on those. And then once those are gone, there's just chairs that you'll be able to sit in. There's a couple booths and tables.
First person to show us a picture of a reserved table, I will personally... I don't know. I was gonna say sign something, but that's not really incentive to do anything. Yeah, thanks for trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting down with the owner again sometime this week, and I'll know if he. Last time we were gonna do specials for the show for the people that came to the show. It is free, so you can just come in. But if the tables are RSVP'd, then those tables would be RSVP. You won't be able to sit there, and if they're all RSVP'd already, you'll have to sit in one of just the chairs without a table, like.
Comedy's great with the table, with the chair. Comedy's hilarious with the table.
And the $10 isn't going into some huge profit thing. It's going back to the help the bar out because they're trying to recover from COVID, and it's going to go right back into this whole show and the production thing. And if we make it work out, and I can get enough people into the seats and enough people coming and buying food and drinks and enjoying themselves, we've already talked and discussed the shows being paid. And the comics that come on and want to perform and do the time and are in the beginning.
We do accept sexual favors.
We do the free shows, or we'll be on the first ones on the list to do the paid shows when they start. And if this all works out, I've got another venue that I'm in talks with that's even cooler, that I'll be doing more specials and showcase with maybe 3 comedians that do much more time. And
That's 3
there'll be
comedians.
video and everything like that set up.
For the price of one?
You'll have your name on an actual marquee at that venue. So if this
What
all
the
works out, we can
fuck?
really fill seats on this, and I can get it to where everything's going, and I can get everything paid off that I've already put in, and then paid off the venue for a few different events. Then we're gonna keep trying to push these things.
Come
and
help make local.
You will
St.
see
Louis
different
comics.
comedians every time.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see. I'm not gonna keep putting the same guys on over and over.
Yeah, like
I'm
Ronaldo.
giving everybody. No, I haven't reached out to him yet.
Because
Just
we don't want him on.
no. I mean, those guys are putting in the work, so they'll get on if they want. Like I said, it's for the comedians that I know are funny. Ronaldo's funny. He can come on anytime. All the guys that you know who you are. If you can't do 15, don't come.
Stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah, until
I
you
can't
have
do 15 and I'm on the line. Oh, edit that.
There
out.
is a few.
Edit that out.
There is a few slots that will be like 5 and 10 minutes certain nights, depending on the list and the people I want to put on. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be a great show. Nobody else is advertising for these shows like that we will be.
We're gonna push.
And it's in a great location to get more than
really is.
multiple. I've got Eureka. There's a lot of people. Chesterfield, Manchester,
It just sounded like you
Baldwin,
were
all
excited
those
that There's
areas.
a lot of people. You're like Eureka. There's a lot of people. There.
Well, no, just those people
Yeah.
that fucking
Yeah, they like to spend
everybody's
money.
been locked up in their house.
Yeah, come on. We're gonna come on.
This is a horrible
Yeah,
commercial.
it's
If this
gonna
is what that is.
come on down. Oh, come on down. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be there. I will.
There will be more flyers, and all the details
Yeah.
will be on them. It's tonight once Mike is finished making them.
Yep. I will. I will also be doing.
You can look for those tomorrow
Yes.
afternoon or morning.
Probably a little. Yeah. Let's look for 'em. I'll
Tomorrow
post-
morning.
Morning. And make sure I will also at the show be giving out tarot readings. I've never done that before, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But there will be $5. I'll be doing it at the table in the back. Come get your card reading. Or your palm. I can do your palm. All right, don't fucking let that slowly die in front of me. Just fucking move along, dude. I get it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're trying to get people to come to the show. I
Yeah.
might have to edit.
Yeah, edit that out.
I can put fake laughs.
Just a fucking standing ovation. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, since we've talked about it all night, I guess we could go do some drugs because that's what everyone's like. That's what they're about to do.
That's exactly what we're about to do. I put some in my butt earlier, so I am. Now, excuse me while I go do illegal drugs.
All right. Later, masturbators.
I don't know what to say after that. Oh, that's what.
I'm not going to put the pedophile on there.
Like they said pedophile.